sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht Stadtbild komm ich nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deiner Party gehen. Engel und Teufel tanzen Schwansee. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdielen. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg.
I've been shot down, I've been hurt, I've been left down in the dirt. I've been lied to, I've been cheated, but I'm never coming to my knees. Needed a way out, needed a way out, needed a way out, needed a way out. Oh no, 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 never gonna break. Oh no, 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 never gonna break. Oh no, 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 never gonna break. Oh no, 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 never gonna break. They tried to lock me in. They tried to. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
This is not enough. Raise that level up. Raise that level up. Raise that level up.
not wasting time, 'cause I'm already gone. So long, can you stay the night? 'Cause you're the thing I want. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Whoa. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. When it's late at night, I feel you on my skin. My skin, you're all that's on my mind. It's finally sinking in. You're it. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Oh, it's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Riyadh Masters North American Qualifiers for the Esports World Cup, and we have got probably what I think a lot of people would have expected, the main event happening here in the upper bracket. It is Nouns taking on Shopify for the, I don't know, 1,000th time it feels like with these two teams. My name is Cryptic. I'm here with Z Quixotics. We had a long break. How did you enjoy your break, man? What'd you do?
I chilled. You would think I would do more Dota, but I've been doing a lot of that, so I just goofed off, took a break. Now I'm ready for more Dota as it goes.
Love that, love that. Yeah, I did my sand fishing, got that taken care of. I'm like, all right, I've heard that this is a miserable experience. God, I don't know what people are complaining about. Nailed that thing on like the literal second try. It was fine.
I still gotta unlock fishing. I have not been making progress. I'm unlucky with these. It always wants tokens of heroes I don't play.
Yeah.
I gotta trade them in.
That's fair. I'm a professional scrap farmer, so I just lose and then turn in all my scrap for an eventual token. That's the
There you
real
go.
strategy, I think.
There you go. There you go. Now I'm a support player, and it's always like, go play agility heroes, play these carry heroes. I'm like, I don't do that. They don't buy wards. What is this hero? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm excited for this series though. I think these two teams obviously kind of blew right through their first opponent here in these qualifiers, and I want this to be very close. Like these two teams, they're gonna bring something to the table here that maybe is a little bit new because I don't think they've played since the patch dropped. I mean, maybe they've scrimmed, but a lot of times they scrim outside of their region to not give away any strats. So I am a little bit curious to see what they're going to do. We got treated to a very aggressive lineup from Shopify in both game 1 and 2.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them continue that trend. They seem to like these earlier lane winning tempo heroes. I don't know if that's part of just doing NA qualifier type stuff. It's like, why play a long game when we can play a short game and we we know we can do it. I think first Nouns, they'll definitely want to take it. I'm not saying they were disrespecting their last opponent or anything, but I do think they're like Nouns and Shopify are known to be like the team to beat in NA for a reason. So I think they're going to take this completely seriously, which I think will be a continued trend of strong heroes that win the lane and go from there. Just seems to be the style they like. But like we kind of said in that while we were talking the last series, it's relatively new team. It's pretty different from what people have known. They are bringing in new players, so there might be a change in style because of that too. So it is just kind of fun to see what they are trying and if it's going to stick to that, I guess what we would call a core identity of what Shopify Rebellion has been for so long. But at the same time, they made changes to the team because it wasn't quite working out. They had some high finishes, but not as consistent as they'd like to be. So maybe it will eventually lead to a change in style.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit of well, I would say I'd like to see a little bit of like niche picks in this series because I know that's something that Nouns has been known for. Like they have a little bit of off the cuff drafts, that things that like people don't typically see, especially back in the days like with some of their former players. But with the move of Gunner into the off lane, obviously, like towards the beginning of this year, it changed up their gameplay a lot, right? Like they were flexing a lot of mid heroes into the off lane. He loves Centaur; it's one of his favorite heroes. And I feel like the hero is very good right now as well. So I am curious to see if they're going to give that or if it is going to be a respect band early on from Shopify. I think there's cases for both. But we saw a Templar Assassin kind of absolutely destroy in the first series, ended up getting banned in game 2. I don't know, man. It's both these teams have like comfort picks, and then there's like the really strong meta heroes, and I'm curious which ones are going to be prioritized in the first phase bans.
I think right now there's probably not enough band to take out everything broken. That's kind of what happens when we have such a big patch, is that they obviously do their best to balance it, but there do tend to be some heroes that are a lot better than others at the top until after you have a little bit more time to balance it out, then it, kind of settles down, things are more in line. But I don't think it's crazy to say 7 opening bans is a lot, if you just go back a couple years, but still not quite enough to take out all of the things that seem broken. But that is in more of the pub sense, right? There's now pro Dota. For example, Chen is a hero that the change to him in pub win rate, I don't think was great for him. It's a little awkward. He is, you know, to be fair, he's a hero that doesn't usually have an amazing win rate in pubs just because he's
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to work with. But I saw pro teams still banning him out first phase. They still don't want to deal with it. No one wants to get chenned. So that's kind of what's interesting about this, where there's some heroes that a lot of us who have been playing pubs knows like, oh, that one's broken. But is it making its way into the professional scene? Legion, we saw in our last series, that's one we consider pretty broken in pubs. Shopify Rebellion made it look like that's not really the case. I don't think that was strictly on the hero though. I think there was some outskilling there, but um, yeah, we can't always say just because the new facets are working in the pubs that we're going to see it in the pro scene.
I mean, the way they approached the lane was really cool because that was one of those things that Legion. Well, I thought they were going to flex the DK out and not run it as a carry because you can't trade melee to melee with a Legion commander usually, right? But Arteezy goes for the corrosive dragon, maxes out the passive, his worm armor, whatever that thing is, worm's wrath, I believe. Yeah, so at that point, you're actually trading from range with like breathe fire and like an auto attack every once in a while and just like burning through the Legion commander's health slowly but steadily, but never committing to a fight or to a trade, which it was smart and it worked really well. It was definitely not what I expected from a carry Dragon Knight. Like we said, a lot of people go for the cleave from the Fire Dragon, but that was like a perfect game to test out the corrosive and the carry role, and it was nice. It was really good. When it comes back to the Chen, though, you were making a really good point. Like the hero got nerfed a little bit in pubs. I think it has to just be the fact that he still farms so fast, even with the reduced bounty on his I can't remember the name of the ability, the one where he takes Holy Persuasion, right?
Mhm.
Where it used to give him full gold. Now I think they reduced it a little bit so he doesn't get full gold bounty for converting creeps, but he just still farms so fast and just pushes the tempo of the game to an unbelievable amount.
Yeah, and I think the summon convert, it's his new innate ability
Yeah.
where you choose one of the camps essentially. You either get like a centaur camp, wolf camp, hellbear, troll, satyr. I think that's that's the
Yeah,
five.
Satyr's the
And
last
as
one, yeah.
as you level them up, you get like one of the lower tier ones and eventually one of the higher tier ones. And so I think just being able to start with that, like in the past, you kind of had to choose Holy Persuasion. Do I want to start with Penitence? Divine Favor was pretty good for a bit too, but you had to make a choice just like any other hero. But now you have Summon Convert, and you can take Penitence if you want, and you got something to work with, and you got Penitence. So I think that has still made him a very strong laner, something you don't really feel like having to deal with. And then, like you said, back to farming. It's a little reduced, but it's still really good. You still have someone who can build a Vlad's, drum, mech, whatever you want for your particular draft, and you just speed up that tempo. It's still just very tough to deal with.
Yep, absolutely. And the cool thing is you can always adapt your facet to whether or not you want to, have like a wolf for late game always, or
Mhm.
if you feel like the lane is going to be way more important and you go for like Satyr to get the mana burn and purge creeps like immediately. Like there's some really annoying things with that hero, like that people are able to do. But we'll see if Chen makes it through. I would be shocked, honestly. I know Shopify will play it if it makes it through the draft. But we are getting ready to jump into the draft here in just a moment, which I'm super excited. It looks like we had a game crash on one of the players. They'll be joining back into the lobby in a moment. But my predictions, I think we're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see the Chen, and I don't think we're going to see the Centaur. And those are like the big ones I'm looking out for, at least for nouns, if they can get them. But
Do you think we'll see the Meepo? Because
true, Yuma.
Meepo, yeah, Yuma, back when Meepo was like really broken, they were one of the few teams who will just first phase Meepo if you give it to them, and they'll make it look good. Meepo, I'm not a Meepo player myself, so I can't fully speak to its changes, but it does seem like people are doing well. The Meepo players are doing well with the new facet where
Akarat?
it changes. I think Packrat actually has a lower win rate. I think the one that is doing better is the other one that allows you to take your ult a little bit sooner. I think I forgot what
Oh,
it's called.
the more
Um,
Meepo.
Yeah,
It's called
more
more
Meepo,
Meepo.
and
Yeah.
it changes it so that instead of leveling it at level 4, you get it at level 3, and I think it then has a 4th level as well. So you get like one more Meepo, you get it sooner too, and Meepo players have just been able to use that to either surprise the opponents, an extra Meepo sooner than usual, you have to deal with that, or you just, if you don't have that kill potential, you send that other Meepo, you go stack stuff, start jungling a little sooner, and in the late game, you just get another Meepo to work with. So it seems to be working pretty well. Pack Rat is a cool idea. I just haven't seen it. I don't think it's got as good of a win rate as having another Meepo to work with. But either way, it's cool to see. I don't want to deal with Meepo in my pubs, but I'm happy to see Yuma do it and maybe bring it to Shopify Rebellion, make them deal with the Meepo. But keep that out of my games.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly I forgot about this more Meepo facet. This is not a hero I've really seen all that much, but yeah, it looks like they got rid of the 25 talent, right? That gave it the +1 Meepo, and now it's just built into his facet, which is pretty cool. That's hard to argue against. So I like that quite a bit. But yeah, whether or not it gets first phase banned, we'll have to find out, or even banned at all. It really comes down to whether or not Yuma wants to play the hero. He does have a very unique carry pool because for a while he was running carry Magnus, which I don't think you can do anymore. Like that the Magnus has been nerfed quite a bit in terms of like
Oh, you don't believe in reverse polarity carry Magnus?
dude. I mean, that would be a pretty pretty wild pick. I mean, you would have to be cooking something pretty nuts there. But looks like we finally do have a draft. So happy to say Shopify versus Nouns is finally underway, as we will take a look and see where these first phase of bans actually go.
10 seconds remaining.
The Zeus was prioritized pretty heavily from Shopify in the last series.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
And
he's
there
just
it is.
doing. There he is. He's just doing so much damage. I think it's called Livewire, the facet that does more damage based on how close you are. And the closer you are to him, the more damage it does. In the lane, it's just, I mean, he was already a guy who put out so much damage, right? And now it's even
10
more. What's up with that?
seconds
How is that balanced, And it doesn't seem to be balanced right now. It's just so much damage coming in too early. So a lot of teams have been banning it or picking it early. And actually, you can play support Zeus as well. So if it does end up looking pretty bad, you can swap it to another role. So it's another one of those heroes that's just too flexible, too strong. Weaver's in that same
10
category. I'd
seconds
say so is TA. Storm, I've only really seen in mid. Actually,
5
I take that back.
seconds
I've seen in pubs
There
people
was a
trying
4
in other
position.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, in like, oh, you've seen it in 4 support? I've seen it like off lane.
Oh yeah.
How did it go in the 4 support?
I think it was fine. Like it actually just
10
it's
seconds
such a
remaining.
strong hero in lane right now, which is really
5
annoying, especially with the fact that you can just
remaining.
walk the remnant at people. Like you don't actually put your hero in danger, so you can just pretty easily harass or like win trades as either the offlane or the support as well now,
10
which is kind of
seconds
wild.
remaining. 5
We're gonna see the
seconds
Dark Willow
remaining.
and the axe removed, and dang it, the Centaur, but that leaves a Chen. If any of the teams want to pick it up, it'll be the first pick Phoenix. A little bit of a deny pick, because this is one of Fly's most successful and most played heroes. So that's something that Nouns may have wanted to grab. Now, whether or not they address the egg issue, we'll have to
10
see something like the
seconds
Mirana
remaining.
or the Snapfire, which you've seen before.
5
Snappfire's a
seconds
classic.
remaining.
She does seem good.
They've got plenty of time to figure out what they want to do.
I think they went in one of their other games. They got a clockwork. Oh, it looks like it's going to be Muerta. The chance for a double shot is useful versus the egg,
And the
she's-
silence.
Yep, and the silence in case Phoenix accidentally like dives through one of those, can't egg. Then you manage to get the Q off to fear Phoenix as
10
well. Could
seconds
definitely get you a
remaining.
kill that Phoenix might not be prepared for. Curious to see if we're going to see the
5
Ofrenda again
seconds
from
remaining.
Muerta. We were talking about it
Shopify
in
Rebellion's
our
turn to
last
ban.
series that it's an interesting facet. It does allow you to just kind of, you die, but you're like straight back into the lane. We kind of like Dance of the Dead, the other facet, a little bit more, which creates the the other ghost
10
inside
seconds
and buffs up the calling a little bit. I guess you see the
5
rest of the draft
seconds
before you
remaining.
decide, but I do like that facet a bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there's that Clockwork ban. We saw Clockwork
That's a
have a very
Lelis
good game.
classic.
Yeah, he had a really strong performance in our last series, and I think he's looking like a good hero in pubs. I imagine it carries over to the pro scene as well. Just a very solid laner. Like, it kind of depends a little bit on the matchup, but you're pretty fast naturally as well. So even if the matchup's bad, you can do things like creep drag if it's like position 4,
Now
Clockwork,
it's
even
turn
as
to
position
ban.
5, you're body blocking camp, stacking things, right? So you get through the lanes, and then even without a lot of items, because you get hookshot at level 6, you just always provide initiation, control for your team. So it just offers a lot as a support.
10 seconds remaining.
Trying to think what they want to go for on this
5
last ban here,
seconds
because
remaining.
you haven't really revealed too much about what this Muerta is doing. I mean, there is always the chance it could be a carry. I don't think that's the case right now. I think it's a lot of times people are playing this as a support, but got rid of Slardar, and there's got to be a really strong hero that I'm missing in these bans right now. I don't know
Night
what.
Stalker has looked good. I don't think you pick Night Stalker versus Phoenix, though.
That's true. Yeah, it was a little
Now
rough.
it's turn to pick.
The Shadow Fiend. What is with this
Shopify
hero? Why do people keep banning
Rebellion's
Shadow
turn.
Fiend?
So I think it's popular with a couple different... You have to be like a Shadow Fiend player, and then I have seen people picking up more Shadow Fiend and doing fairly well with it. The fact that the innate ability now is the
10 seconds
Soul.
remaining.
Necromastery Souls, yeah.
Yeah. It just gives him a lot more
Shopify
damage
Rebellion's
in the early
turn
game
to
than he used to have. And
You can start Raise and still get Souls.
yeah, and then he has a new... I'm trying to remember what it's
mean-
called, but you consume the souls to get the attack speed. That's also helped him out in terms of just early game impact, which he's
10
always been a
seconds
fairly
remaining.
strong like early game hero once he gets
Now
going.
it's
And
time
I
to
think
pick.
with Feast of Souls, it's like an attack speed buff that you get that you didn't even have to build an item for.
Most people I've seen play Shadow Fiend don't put a point in Feast of Souls until they're 21. I'm not even
Really?
joking.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it is as because I've played a
10
lot of Shadow
seconds
Fiend.
remaining.
He's one of my favorite heroes. I'm pretty sure you unbind the
5
ability.
seconds
Like, I'm not
remaining.
even joking. Like Shadow Fiend should almost never use that ability unless you get the 25 talent eventually at like level 30 for the cast speed increase. Then maybe you like use it, but that ability is very anti-synergy with the hero in a weird way. It's like worse Mask of Madness, basically.
I would keep talking about him, but since we're not going to see him, I guess I'll talk about the heroes that are going to show up. Tiny, he has an
Very
innate
cool.
ability to reduce your total attack damage. They did just nerf him. They increased his mana cost on Avalanche and Toss, which is pretty painful for support
Now it's
Tiny.
turn
But
to
with the
pick.
current picks, it's looking like it's going to be a core Tiny. So
Yeah.
he'll have a few more items to work with to deal with those mana
Shopify
nerfs to him.
Rebellion's turn.
We've seen Ursa picked up. Ursa pretty good versus Phoenix Egg. And then Ursa in general has been doing pretty well. His innate ability gives him damage based on his max HP, which Ursa in the early game is actually relatively low damage compared to other carries. It's his passive that
10
builds up to get
seconds
him
remaining.
that early damage, but it does make last hitting like a little tricky. Now, I
5
think without
seconds
items, I think you
remaining.
just get 10 free damage from your innate ability, which has helped his laning stage a lot. And then that's not even his facets. I think the facets then, what are they? One of them increases the debuff of the debuffs that he applies by 20%, which is interesting because it may not seem like what debuff is Ursa applying, but it makes his slow last longer and his fury swipes last longer. So you can
It's
hit
all
someone-
debuffs too.
Yeah, it's all of them. So as he buys other items, but it makes it a little easier for him to play, chase people down, or have to back out for a little bit. The Fury swipes are still there. They have to like stay away from the lane a little longer, an extra second or two. They miss another creep, stuff like that. It's kind of like a snowballing effect. But he has been doing well with the changes.
Shopify Rebellions.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of the facets have like some merit for Ursa. For the most part, I think most people go Grudge Bearer, which is the one that makes it so that you gain damage during Enrage. But it depends on the build you want to go. Because if you're planning on going like the Ags Octarine build, Grudge Bearer is definitely better. Because it refreshes the duration of the buff and doesn't lose damage until you lose the Enrage stack. So you can literally keep that running indefinitely until you get like CC'd long enough to where you can't press Enrage or Urshock. Which is kind of neat, but yeah, we'll see what they end up going for. It looks like they're gonna go back for the Dragon Knight here on Shopify, and this is a little bit tricky because you don't really know where Tiny or DK are going, right? Like both of them could be the mid lane or the carry.
Yeah, we've actually seen Tiny, or in my pubs, I've seen Tiny flex a lot, and I see at the pro pubs they're trying him in all the roles as well. I'm not sure what it's going to settle out in pro, like professional setting matches, but I like what Shopify has set themselves up with because you could flex Tiny and Dragon Knight, in my opinion, between all three core roles. I don't think either of these heroes love dealing with Ursa, though, so I'm kind of thinking you're looking for a last pick counter to the Ursa, though I will say that if you put Phoenix in that lane, Fire Spirits is very annoying for Ursa. Even with the attack speed he gets from Overpower, it is still just a pain to deal with the slows and attack speed slows of Phoenix. So maybe you can make it work with Tiny or Dragon Knight.
Okay, Bat Rider. So are we? Is that a core Bat Rider then in the offlane potentially for mind control? Or are we seeing a mid Bat Rider for Yopaj?
I guess they can wait to see what this last pick is from Nouns, but I imagine it's versus the Ursa. You can knock him away every time he tries to play aggressively on you, and eventually with Sticky Napalm, you do threaten him and kind of kick him out of the lane.
Yeah, Ursa is not very good at staying on the Bat Rider. He will have an Enchantress, which is great, but like you said, you have the knockback from Flame Break, which you pretty much always go at level 1 now. And if you're paired with the Rubik, you have a Telekinesis as well. So it might just be Phoenix on the 5, Rubik Bat Rider offlane. Or, you know, you take like the Tiny offlane. And then you have like Toss and Avalanche still, so they have some options. Gonna be Void Spirit last picked here into the mid lane of Nouns, which is a pretty good Void Spirit game. It is Yopaj DK. Show me. Bat Rider Phoenix. Which one are you the core? It's gonna be the Bat Rider off lane. Okay. That's cool. I like it.
I want to see Rubik steal Arena and then have a giant arena with the AoE.
Dude, that'd be so cool.
Show me Mega Arena. You thought you were stealing the Mars so that they don't have the Mars Phoenix combo? Wrong. We actually have an even better Mars Phoenix combo once we steal Arena.
That is, yeah, there's some cool stuff. Looks like Yuma is going to go the Bear Down, which is the debuff duration increase. So not really feeling like going for the Ags build, like Ags Octarine. He's going to play for more of a damage dealer, which I like quite a bit. I mean, Earthshock's a 5-second slow with Bear Down. Like, that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. It is an AoE 5-second slow. If you get the Earthshock AoE talent, I believe at 20 as well, it's like an 800 AoE 5-second slow, which is pretty wild. Like, that's a good ability.
Yeah, I think that then combined with Enchantress having a slow, maybe that does open up some aggressive potential as well. Even though we were saying Bat Rider, you know, should be able to deal with that. Well, I don't know. If you're slowed that long, maybe you can just run back up after being knocked away and then continue chasing. Could be a volatile lane for them. The safe lane of Nouns, this Ursa versus Bat Rider. It could definitely start swinging one way or the other. Like if Ursa picks up a kill or two, Bat Rider's tanky, but when you have an Enchantress and an Ursa, if they have a good start and they're just running at you, like you'll die too. So whoever picks up the lead in that lane, you know, might just keep that. We might have to keep an eye on that. Mid lane, what do we got? Dragonite versus Void Spirit.
Yeah. And Dragonite is going to go for the Corrosive Dragon as well.
Mhm.
So that will work pretty well against the Void Spirit, like being able to reduce his armor, but also just like kind of tick down the all damage barrier that he gets from having Sanctuary. So it's going to be an okay lane, I think, for the DK. I don't think you can really push him out since a lot of Void Spirits like early damage. Yes, it being magical, but it doesn't really stick super well onto a DK.
Yeah, I agree. DK will also keep getting armor and regen, so it's always hard to kick out a Dragonite, right? And I don't think the change to it changed that idea.
Yeah.
A lot of these early plays we see both teams setting up, a lot of this didn't really change since facets and innate abilities were more kind of changing heroes up and down, but the actual
30
map,
seconds to
meta
go.
stuff, none of that really changed in the early game. The biggest change is more to the refresh on Glyph when you go high ground. But at the start, it's a lot of the same stuff, so we still see a lot of teams either smoke straight out or maybe do a delayed smoke. Kind of looks like what Nouns did, but they're split up a little, so maybe this is just trying to scout out where the enemy is. They do see Phoenix and Tiny. I don't think they have the heroes for this, though.
The battle begins.
Well, we'll see what happens down here. Shopify, I mean, they can do a lot of damage here onto this Tiny, of course, right? Being a little baby 0 armor hero, but it will be a 3-for-1 on these runes as they head into the lanes. And I will say this bottom lane it does seem like it should be pretty good for Nouns. Like, Mars is a pretty dominant hero. It does a lot of physical damage in the lane, especially in the early points, thanks to God's Rebuke. Tiny, obviously, he's got good damage himself, can last hit well with tree grab and everything, but I don't think it's going to be a super easy lane for that Tiny.
I don't think we'll see kills, but I think he should be able to get by. Like, maybe not crush the lane like you would sometimes see Tinies do with so much extra damage, but I don't think they'll be able to, as long as he plays carefully, fully shut him down either, thanks to that passive helping to reduce the damage of the enemy heroes when they do attack him. And then you'll have some healing from the Phoenix as well, so... Fly finds a Harpy Stormcrafter to start off his laning stage, so saying maybe this could be a little bit volatile up here. That's certainly going to help them out, just spamming in that Chain Lightning.
Yeah, it's always so annoying when someone gets like the Harpy in lane and you're just like, well, at least it's been nerfed over the years, so it's not nearly as bad as it used to. But yeah, it is a great way to apply pressure and kind of free up some space onto your carry here. But yeah, I mean, the Rubik Batrider lane, it does seem like it's going to be very annoying for this Ursa. They're going to try and get aggressive here on the Kid Track, maybe. No, okay. They're not going to. They have creeps to farm.
I think both lanes need a couple levels before anything too crazy happens.
Mid lane, though, it really does seem like the Dragonite is just completely dominating the CS. 14-3 to the 8-0. And this, I mean, this is your last pick Void Spear, right? You know it may not win the lane, but you've got to get something out of the lane, right? You still have to play for your late game.
I think Dragonite's damage scales a little less than Void Spirit, so maybe these first levels will be pretty rough when you have less damage, but I think Void Spirit's catching up in terms of just raw damage as they level up. And then maybe you can start catching up in the CS versus Dragonite. Void Spirit will also have better ways to farm than Dragonite, so might be able to catch up after he gets a couple levels. I think this is what you want out of your Dragonite anyways, though. Like, when you're going for this corrosive dragon, I think you need to win your lane and then apply that early pressure. So I think if you're not doing that, you've messed up with your Dragonite pick.
I think that's one of the things that makes this Corrosive Dragon still very good. Because, like, the other ones, I don't know what the Frost Dragon is even for. It does not feel like anyone is picking it. But when it comes to the Fire one, you're like, cool, I can farm faster, I guess. But you just lose so much of your, like, laning presence, I think, by doing that. So it's been kind of cool to see, like, this Corrosive Dragon, which is, I think, previously the one people underrated the most of the 3 dragon forms, is now kind of the primary one we're seeing in a lot of games.
Yeah, the issue with the red dragon form is that it's kind of like Sven's Great Cleave. Like, once you take it, you're going to shove in the lane. But Sven at least gets, like, the bonus strength from it. You don't get anything with the cleave. You just start pushing in your lane all the time. So you actually just have to, like, hold those skill points, which means you're kind of laning with just Breathe Fire, Dragon Tail, and then, like, maybe you're just saving those points until you're like, okay, now I'm in full farm mode. I don't care if I push the lane. So that's the part. It's like, well, usually Dragonite's like a strong early game hero, but now I'm, like, kind of not really using all my skills, and now I can farm, but I don't scale as well as other carries. So I think that's the part where it feels a little awkward with that one. Not that it's terrible or anything, but just it feels more awkward than this Corrosive Dragon form.
Yeah, I mean, he's just completely dominating. Like, every time he has the opportunity, he just walks up, starts hitting copy, keeping that debuff rolling, and yeah, just none of the damage seems to really stick too well. Kitrak, that being said, ooh, very close to going down in the bottom lane, or in the top lane here, but we'll be able to make it into the trees. There's a huge wave pushing into this tower, though. Fly's gonna keep looking. Won't find the Rubik.
Batrider's a hero you want to be very careful of diving. That is a big wave, but another hero you might consider diving with an Ursa Enchantress. But Batrider, he's got all these slows, knockbacks. Suddenly, you know, it's not as clean of a dive as you would like, and now you're feeding. And I think pretty decently for themselves here. Batrider is last hitting fairly well, but he's not shutting down the Ursa by any means.
I am just, like, surprised at how well he's doing. Mid lane, we're gonna see the first rotation in from Kitrak. Copy still so far from his level 6. And that will be it. First blood into the hands of the Dragon Knight. Those 14 denies
Dire's middle
just
tower is
really
under
adding up there. And with this, they're going to put a lot of pressure into this mid lane tower. Of course, the DK, he does a lot of tower damage. He's got a catapult still available.
Radiant structures are fortified.
We'll pump the first fortification.
Dire's structures are
Counter to
fortified.
the fortification out from Shopify. I mean, this tower might be dead before Copy can hit 6. There's still 3 creeps alive.
It's dead. Yeah,
They got
might,
it.
They might try to get the deny, but
Dire's middle tower.
That is
fallen.
absolutely massive. First DK form, not only to grab first blood, but taking away a tower against an Enchantress draft too. That is terrifying. And now Gunnar in the bottom lane in troubles. Muerto was forced to TP out earlier. The dive in there from Scam to try and slow him down, close the gap there on the Tiny, and they will do it. They grab themselves their second kill on the board.
Wait up.
As now top lane, looking for MC. You said be careful about diving a Batrider, but the Blood Grenade and the Enchant isn't enough. He's down to 5 HP and he burns. Fly will get the kill.
Radiant's top tower is
curious
under
if they'll
attack.
bring, like, the next Dragon Knight ult you don't need in the mid lane anymore because you just took it. And it seems like bottom's doing okay. So maybe go top, start trying to shut down this Ursa. He does not jungle well until he has Battle Fury. So if you can kick him out of that lane, you're going to massively slow down his farming speed. Does look like instead he's coming down here. Maybe more opportunity just because Gunnar and Lelis were playing fairly aggressively here.
A really good silence, but I don't know if he's getting out of this one. This DK is doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Yuma, top lane once again, with the help of the Enchantress, should bring down Mind Control, even against the Hurricane, just to make sure he cannot escape. As you will get back to farming. It looks like he's maxing Sticky Napalm, right, on this Batrider, so he has to be very careful about fighting into these stacks.
I don't think so.
Very easy.
Another
Looking
dive
like it
top.
for, oh, wow. Yeah, not stopping. This is actually a fantastic lane now for Nouns. They have done so good at recovering the Ursa. He was off to a little bit of a slow start, but Fly is level 6. Yuma just gets level 6 as well, and they're gonna they're not gonna get the tower, but it's down to about a third of its HP.
Yeah, I feel like they want the next rotation up here for Shopify Rebellion. You don't want this Ursa getting out of control.
They're gonna get it. He just got a troll. There, yeah, I mean that is how you get a tower. You just get the troll. And Yuma will get the last hit. A little bit of gold for the side of Nouns, evening this one out almost exactly even on net worth. 3-3 on the kill score. It's the Enchantress. I'm gonna keep my eye on. She is getting very farmed.
She does have the facet Spellbound, so that'll increase her attack range, and cast range on when she uses enchant on a target. So yeah, if she's having a good start and she's farmed, she could be doing some extra damage with that attack range on impetus.
We can check up on Arteezy. I know he's doing pretty well in the bottom lane as well. 4 points in the tree grab already. Tower pretty healthy. He's just rushing into that Echo Saber. We see quite a bit. I haven't seen a ton of carry Tiny. Well, that's true. We'll put a pin in that. We're seeing a big rotation there, bringing the numbers, the arenas there. They've caught the Tiny, the Avalanche, doing a good amount of work. But Copy, he's got to get in here and fast. But Yopaj is going to TP in as well. The Tiny's perfectly fine. He's got 1,700 HP. Yuma comes in, looking to chase down Kidrak here behind the tower. He will be able to do it. 9 heroes in this bottom lane as they will get the enchant here onto the DK. This is a massive kill if they can finish him off. The Fear pulls him right back into the enemy team. And that will be it. Double kill for Yuma on this Ursa and a really worthwhile dive.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Nouns. Void Spirit coming in from the mid lane. They twin gate over. So just 5 heroes all collapse at the same time. Where Shopify Rebellion, they're all TPing as a response. So people are showing up one at a time. Can't quite take a proper fight. And actually, Skem's trying to delay this, but it's going to cost him his life.
He's just going to go right into the Enchantress and Yuma. Oh, what a fear from Lelis. Very nice. It delays the tower push, but he had the trolls. Once again, the whole troll camp is just sitting there, beating down the tower of the catapult. So, really nice movements here from Nouns. They do have to go back to their lanes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like Shopify is predicting this. They're smoking right up to that top lane already.
An Ursa kill would be big. At this rate, he's going to have a really fast Battle Fury. So, trying to get a kill or something on him to slow him down a bit here.
Yeah,
looks like they're going to run damage first. Are they even okay? Wait,
it's gonna be hard. You'll mind control eventually, right? We'll get this one. Commits the lasso as well. So, yeah, you did it. It's you don't get the Ursa, which is the one that you want, but still Enchantress slowing her down a little bit is quite good. Oh,
it looks like it will give them the space to take this tower. Maybe not on this creep wave. Maybe the next one. Although they did rotate out. I kind of feel like they could have stayed to finish off that tower.
He has a Centaur tanking it, right? Kitrak stole the enchant. He might be able to get it.
Yeah, okay, looks like they realize they're better than me. They're like, no, we don't need to be there. The creep will do it.
Poppy's recovering quite well. He was really far behind on this Void Spirit, but he has definitely started to recover. Yopaj goes for the early Blink Dagger here. Again, something we saw from Arteezy's Dragon Knight in the previous series. And it is going to be matched with a Battle Fury done on the Ursa. Phase Battle Fury, 12.5 minutes. That is not too bad, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's going to be a very scary Ursa.
Oh, that is another Blink Dagger on Mind Control. And a smoke to the bottom lane. They're looking for Gunner. I don't know if they're going to find him, though. He is retreating. He has 2 gold off of his own Blink Dagger, so... That would have been, a really sad death for Gunner, but yeah, if Shopify could have delayed that, it would have been massive.
And connects. So Shopify know that Nouns is on their way. They're going to connect Gunner on this smoke. So this is potentially the blink reveal from a smoke. They might find Skem, but that's the last target they really want.
Oh, That's a little awkward. They still get the kill, but yeah, Fear blocking the spear back. Either way, that's a really quick kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Mid lane? They're looking like they're collapsing onto someone. Yuma knows something's up. He's like, guys, they've got to all be here. All right, very close game. I mean, this is what we expected, right? Like the first series for both of these teams, they were kind of steamrolling at this point already. But this is almost dead even, as the Shard will be the next purchase here for the Tiny. Of course, you need to get that pretty much online ASAP at the 15-minute. Your goal is, you know, Treads, Echo, Shard, and then anything else is just a bonus. So Tiny will be very happy to get that Shard online as soon as possible. Top lane here, Fly will get caught from an Invis rune from Mind Control, as Yopaj will help bring him down. Sunray as well. A nice pick off. In the mid lane, though, we're going to see them make a play here for Kitrak. Stuck inside of the calling, pulled back in from Copy. So it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Lineage comes to a nullifier.
Support's taking a beating this game. All these blink reveals are just finding supports. So, guess that's what both teams kind of want. Like, you want to find the core kill. You're like, oh, I found a support kill. But then only your supports are dying.
Yeah.
So, gonna see some farmed cores this game.
Dude,
Which, for the most part, they are.
Yeah.
That Rider maybe a little bit behind the others.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I'm a little bit surprised. Copy's gone for a Spirit Vessel like early, but this is a really good Vessel game now that I look at it, right? You're going up against DK, Tiny, and the potential heals from a Sunray. Like, this is a really good pickup.
You moved.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't think they've used it quite yet.
No, he just finished it after that kill mid lane.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, they have their window to try to find those kills.
Dire's bottom
So I think
tower is under
Dragon
attack.
Knight's working on a BKB. Tiny already has some status resistance from the facet he picked, and he's going for a Sange, which the Sange itself does not have status resistance anymore. We'll see if he completes that into an SNY, where he will then get the status resistance. But if he does get that, all right, hang on, we gotta really.
That was very close. Yeah, I feel like SNY is like a requirement on Tiny, right? With this new facet, it's like the idea is you just stack a bunch of status resistance up, and then you're just chilling. It's exactly like what the old Tiny used to be back in the day, right? You go like Sange and Yasha with his, you know, ult, and then into a Satanic, you're like running around with like 80% status resistance, and it was just
Radiant
super
are
broken.
scanning.
But this is like a dumbed down version, a little bit, or I guess tuned down version of it. Oh, Copy. If he finds Mind Control here, this would almost certainly be a kill, but not quite on the money. So, what are these teams playing for? Is it really just those BKBs you were talking about on Shopify?
Maybe. It seems like with the blink timings, both teams were trying to make plays, but not quite finding the kills they wanted. Like, you kill a core hero, you suddenly feel much better about pushing into the enemy's half of the map, you know, maybe pressuring some objectives. But you'd find a support kill. It's like, okay, we got something, but I don't feel comfortable pushing, so we'll chill. Then the other team does the same thing, and then it's like, okay, your turn, you find a support kill. So it seems like they didn't quite get the momentum they were hoping for, and now they're waiting for the next set of items or levels. I've been trying to like click around and check, and it does seem like it might be these BKBs, which if they all come out at the same time, then
will they find him? Gunner, he needs to grab him. The arena doesn't come out in time. He's gonna be able to drop it now, but they are too worried. They're like, all right, no, we didn't get the grab. Disengage. They forced some TPs, but arena is down, and that is a nice win there for Shopify.
Yeah, they didn't commit. Well, they did rotate some heroes, but didn't commit the arena cooldown.
Radiant's middle
That
tower is
I mean,
under attack.
yeah. So there's no trees to stun to.
Oh,
The furthest
that was
tree
like
in the
a
world.
max range tree. I thought for sure that I was thinking the same thing as you. I was like, there's no trees. They're all gone.
All right, I actually thought it would be Shopify Rebellion who'd
Dire's
be
bottom tower is
organizing
under
to
attack.
go after the arena missed on that bottom kill, but it looks like Nouns was even faster, finds his Batrider kill, and that's the core kill that they've been looking for the last like 10 minutes, and it's gonna open up Roshan for the Ursa.
Yeah, this is really smart from them, and they're actually setting up to go for Arteezy here on the bottom side. Copy and Lelis are ready to go if they see him go for this wave, and
Dire's middle
he
tower
is.
is under attack. To the dive.
As they're looking for the jump. Arteezy's in really deep. The Remnant's not going to connect, though. As Aegis gets claimed, and they will just disengage. A very low kill game from what we've seen in some of their previous series, but both teams, I guess, doing a really good job at dodging some of these ganks. BKB's done on the Dragon Knight. He just walks up.
Ursa has his as well, and the Aegis. I think
Fills me with
Arena should be up. Yeah, literally just came up, so might see them looking to make a play. Unless they want to use it to just farm up. What else is there? Oh, Atos is almost done on Muerta. That's a pretty good item. So maybe
Yeah.
they'll let him finish farming that, and then might see them make a play.
I feel like the Ursa scaling is pretty scary, like more so than the Tiny, but it's hard to say. Like, I haven't seen a ton of one position Tiny. Oh, Dragon Tail comes out, Gunner, the nice Arena pins down too, goes up for the Phoenix instead. Scam immediately removed from the fight. No egg, Yopaj forced the BKB. A nice pick off, and now potentially opening up this mid tower.
Radiant's middle
Looks
tower
like
is
Shopify
under
Rebellion
attack.
wants to just give up on it. No one's coming over. I think they're pretty close to BKB on Batrider, plus your Phoenix is dead, so maybe just taking it
Radiant's
easy.
middle
Give up the
tower
mid
has
tower, but
fallen.
get your next set of items.
Dude, I forgot you can, like, the one thing that, you know, we saw so much in the last DK patch was the Enchantress taking his illusions.
That's true. You get your own corrosive dragon breath. But I think that was from an illusion rune, right? I don't think Manta's the build anymore for Dragon Knight
Yeah.
now that Ags is gone.
Yeah. it
Or
was just-
Ags is still
you just-
there, but
Are scanning.
not as good.
Yeah, definitely not as good. You still go for it, I think, but yeah, I've seen a lot of DKs going for like the Mage Slayer or
Radiant are
even
scanning.
yeah, it's still like just S and Y or Manta. This game he's got the Silver Edge queued up, so wants the break help being able to deal with the Mars or even the Fury swipes of the Ursa, as he's gonna pick up. Oh, doesn't ult for it. Wants to hold that
was
one.
almost
Okay.
such a cool play from Shopify. They were in position, expecting them to do Tormentor, and then they could take a fight. I mean, we just saw, like, Ursa and Enchantress left very low health, or maybe he's high health, but he used his ultimate to do it. They could have taken a really cool fight, but I think they got scared. They didn't see the vision on the map. They were worried it was a 5. Like, it was about to be a 5-on-5 on the enemy's half of the map. The enemy has Aegis, so they're like, okay, we back out. But that was, like, seconds away from being an amazing play for Shopify.
It really was. We're gonna see BKBs picked up on even more heroes here now. So, yeah, SNY is done on Tiny, by the way. Which Lelis, he's gonna get ran at. Will end up just popping the Atos and the Pierce the Veil, but in comes Yopaj, Dragon Tail to make some space as they will just disengage. I think Copy finished his Ags as well, so the AoE silence there. There goes Yuma, forced the BKB out from Yopaj, and a nice lasso onto the Mars. Can you bring him down in time? They can. That's the Aegis as well. Copy Astral stepped in and got stuck. Yuma's forced to BKB, try to get out of here. They take down the egg. But Yuma getting chased here by Yopaj. Dragon Tail connects. He gets the overpower, the flame break, back up onto the high ground, turns attention over to mind control, but it's not enough. Avalanche there to hold Fly in place. Copy finally able to rejoin this fight. The vessel is out. This is gonna rip through these guys. And Copy, he's got plenty still left in the tank. Yopaj is dead. And Tiny, the only survivor for Shopify. I thought this fight was looking real good. You stopped the Mars before you could do
Radiant's
anything.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it did seem that way with the Mars being taken out so early. That is a lot of the actual crowd control between Arena and the Spear, and then Copy accidentally like clipped himself in that spot between the trees and the edge. So Ursa spent a lot of that fight just trying to hit people and chasing, and died with the Aegis without getting too much done. But in the meantime, these supports were just hitting away. Void Spirit did uncliff himself as a mobile hero, and then Spirit Vessel was just going to work once those BKBs were down. And they managed to turn that fight. I don't know. I don't think that was as clean as they would have liked. I think they would have preferred, you know, initiate with the Mars, get the Ursa kill. So still a win for Shopify, considering that was the Aegis. Or not like a full win, but like they can be kind of happy with how it turned out because that was the Aegis. But
I think you got to start being worried about this Enchantress, man. Look at the net worth on Fly. He has got the Dragon Lance. He's got probably one of the best neutrals you could ask for on this hero as well, as he's closing on his Pike. You're gonna have some serious damage coming out from the Enchantress in these engagements, and they're gonna find Arteezy. The blink comes in immediately. Status Assistance is helping him quite a bit, holding the spear just in case to finish the job. And that is a massive kill there for the side of Nouns, as Yuma threatens the Phoenix. He's gonna dive TP on out.
Dire are scanning.
It's only a 3,000 gold lead, but Nouns feel like they're in a pretty comfortable spot right now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
How do you feel about the Yule's build for Mars here?
I think they recognize that the Enchantress is doing well, Ursa is doing well, so they have the damage. Bottom lane, they try to catch Copy, but dodge things out. Maybe they're turning here.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to. MC forced to BKB as Yuma and Gunner come in. He's going to try and just bring him down on the high ground, but the TP will be successful. Yopaj, thanks to that Shadow Blade, gets out alive. Kitrak ends up stealing Astral Step, I think, as well, so he's got some mobility.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Your original question, I think his teammates have the damage. Muerta is a very high damage support as well. So he's choosing to be more utility based, just set up for his team to do the damage. And Wind Waker's still a really good item. It did get nerfed a bit, but that's the nice thing about the Yules. You can eventually get it. So yeah, I think he's just committed to utility offlaner.
I didn't even think about the Muerta scaling. Like, he's got his Maelstrom. He's almost got a Gleipnir. So you're going to have, like, high damage from both of these supports, not just the Enchantress. Yeah, I like that idea. Really good call.
Wait up.
Yopaj is like, stop hitting me. Please stop hitting me. Stop
That's the
hitting
position
me.
5. He's like, yeah, you're mid Dragonite. You think I'm scared of you? I will kill you. You better run away from me.
I mean, Silver Edge helps him kill the Enchantress for sure, I guess, but you need some help, I think. She's pretty tanky at this point. BKB done on Arteezy. He definitely needs it this game. Just getting trapped inside the arena has spelled disaster for him already. Nice D-wards there from Scam. That was a good read, actually. Wow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Smoke up by Nouns. Maybe wanting to get in control of that Roche area again. It's a relatively short spawn, about a minute.
I'm surprised Shopify are leaving the top side of the map right now. They got the D-ward, and they do see this ward now with this sentry. So they know that they have vision there. Oh, this is like an interesting smoke for the Wisdom Rune timing. I actually do. I understand this. This is a pretty good one from Shopify. It's unfortunate because Nouns is going for the Roshan.
Yeah, I think what happened here is it's one of those like next level mind game things, which is Shopify made the move to Roche first, knowing that, you know, Roche was about to spawn. They get there, they get the D-ward, but they go like, well, Nouns isn't here. Nouns isn't set up. Are they really going to approach us right now? they might just be trying to wait for us to move. We don't have the best Roche. They're kind of calling that bluff. So let's go try to find them somewhere else. So let's try to steal their Wisdom Rune, get a pick off there. Nouns, I don't know if they knew it was coming or if they were like, no, we can fight them there. Let's go. So now they're actually just going to get a free Roche off of this. Not
They
really
were
worth
patient,
trading a Wisdom
too.
Rune for.
They were really patient. They didn't start the Roche until someone on Shopify showed. Like, they were actually just sitting in the trees behind Roshan, waiting for a fight to break out. And then Arteezy cuts bottom wave, and they're like, all right, boom, we know they're bottom. They were going for our Wisdom Rune, let's go. Like, that is... It's a really good read by both teams. That, unfortunately for Shopify, it just favored Nouns and how it ended up playing out. But it was really good rotations from both teams.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And, you know, being a relatively quick Roche spawn, right? The lower third spawn timer.
And with that, we've got another Aegis onto Ursa, who is getting closer to that Aghanims we were talking about. This very low cooldown in Rage. It's very good versus a burst hero like Tiny if you're fast enough to activate it. If you can catch the Ursa off guard, you can burst him with the heroes you have. If you can chain stun, but that will be a bit of a tough part of it.
And all of Shopify's initiation tools are stuns, right? Like they're not silences of any kind. Like he will just instantly dispel Dragon Tail. I'm pretty sure you can dispel Lasso. I don't think Lasso applies a silence on use. And then of course you have, you know, Avalanche, which is pretty easy to use as well. So it's a pretty good Ags game for the Ursa. So he can kind of dangle for Nouns and kind of try and force a response from Shopify.
He also has Vindicator's Axe.
Dude,
So like
so
if
good.
he is chain stunned because he doesn't have his
much armor.
ultimate, yeah, you've got so much armor. And a lot of the damage coming out from the cores, the Tiny and the Dragonite will be physical. And Batrider will do magic, but it's going to take some time. You're not bursting someone with the magic from a Batrider.
Dire are scanning.
Oh, they actually scanned Yopaj here bottom.
Radiant's
They don't
middle
know
tower is
exactly
under attack.
where, but
Radiant structures are fortified.
they are doing a decent job at trying to keep this bottom wave pushed out here on Shopify. Yopaj gonna go for the next wave as well. As Ursa cuts it, but Gunner's looking. He's waiting for someone to show on this wave. There's the Yules. The Spirit instant BKB. A good force here. He's gonna TP out with full duration, so I'll make sure he does not get caught there.
I like that he takes the time to get 1 or 2 last hits though. It's like, man, I had to use this BKB. I'm getting 60 gold at least for it.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, this is nice for Nouns because they've got mid and bottom in the
Radiant's
exact position that
bottom
they
tower
want.
is under attack.
And Shopify either is going to lose both of these towers and trade for like the top, or they respond. And it looks like they
Radiant's middle tower
are
is
just
under
going to go ahead and
attack.
trade.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I mean, there's
Trading's
no
pretty good for
fort on the Radiant.
Radiant's bottom tower
Trading is good
under
for
attack.
Shopify right now considering they don't have the
Dire's top
Aegis.
tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Someone started a TP and immediately canceled it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Huerta's coming in
Dire's
top.
top
I think
tower
maybe to
has fallen.
cancel TPs. No, Arteezy just goes straight in. He just collapsed. Whoa, that is a lot of damage. A couple crits. All right, that's a great find.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Decent gold bounty, almost over 700 gold into the pockets of that Tiny.
Like a bit of a miscommunication there from Nouns. Going on some kind of like multiple plays going on there.
Yeah, someone's chasing DK. They could have gotten mid and bot tower for that top tower trade, but like you said, yeah, maybe a little bit of miscommunication.
Or feeling stronger than they are. Maybe they thought they could do multiple plays. I'm not sure which case it was, but might have been part of the plan, just like, oh, we're actually not as strong as we thought.
Arteezy is doing a ridiculous amount of damage now. You have to try and take him out at the beginning of the fight. This is where things get scary with Tiny, because he has so much status resistance and so much HP, and he's backed up by a Phoenix. I don't know how you kill him now. Oh, nice spear. Spear, Yopaj forced to BKB once again, and that is going to be the green light for Nouns to try and go in and find a hero here. But triple TP out from Shopify. They will disengage just fine. Oh, I like the gem pickup. That's nice. Way of dealing with this DK.
Yeah, an interesting thing here is that, so Tiny's passive, I don't think should work on Fury swipes. So Ursa will have the damage that way to kill the Tiny, but you have to keep hitting Tiny, and Tiny has status resistance. So if you can get away for a little bit, you can lose all those Fury swipes and force Ursa to start building them up again. So it's going to come down to a lot of, I guess, kiting and control. Can you allow the Tiny to surprise burst the Ursa? Can you keep Tiny controlled up so that Ursa can build up enough stacks to kill him? It can go either way, and it'll depend a lot on the other heroes involved, like who's setting up their carry for success.
Yeah, the Basher should help that he's building towards here on the Ursa. He's got the Ags done. He's almost got the Basher as well. Aegis has expired, but they are baiting so hard with Arteezy here. They know, right? Shopify has to be sitting behind them. They would not risk it. They have a good deep ward here on the top side. Gunner thinking about going, but does not have vision of the supports. He will back away.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't even realize Ursa took the 20 Fury swipes reset time.
Yeah, with the reset time and the bear down, it lasts forever. Mid lane, Lasso is going to be able to grab Copy. He is dead. Yuma able to just jump into this fight, but they don't want to overcommit. He's still got the BKB available. They committed a lot of BKBs here on Shopify. Can they turn it? Dragon Tail out onto Yuma. He's turning his attention to the egg. They've got it, but Yuma's just dead. So much damage coming out from DK. Gunner forced a BKB TP out. Lelis, he's not going to be as lucky as Mind Control will chase him, finish the job, and they've even caught Fly. The break from the Dragon Knight, 4 for 1. A huge win for Shopify.
Managed to find that pick off onto Copy to start it, and that's, I think that's the type of fight that they've been looking for, is that the Void Spirit and the Mars are the control, and if you can take them out of the picture, you can kind of kite the other, well, you can mainly kite the Ursa, and that's pretty much what happened there. Ursa did not really get to hit anything even after he BKB'd. He did kill the egg, but didn't really kill any of the core heroes, significantly damage them, force them to get out of the fight. So after that, his Tiny damage just does not stop thanks to the shard. He just always has this 650 damage.
That is a massive win. I mean, Shopify have been behind and kind of playing on the back foot for the last, like, 10 minutes. And they are now in a pretty good position. 4,000 gold ahead, 5,000 now as they finish up a mid-melee barrack. So that will actually refresh the fort for Nouns. But, dude, that is best-case scenario. You are looking really strong now.
You can get the next Roche for Shopify Rebellion now, or you can set up for it here in the top half of the map. It is another relatively short spawn, about a minute.
They lost their gem too, right? So, gem should be in Shopify's hands now. Oh, wait, never mind. Mars has it. Huh. Maybe they didn't see.
I think it was on the ground for a little bit. That might be a new gem, actually. Hold on. Bat Rider has one, but this is their own. That's Scam bot.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they have their own.
So yeah, both teams have their own. Interesting, it's on MC. It's, I know he's one of the initiators. It's sad. This is where you're so sad. Sticky Napalm lost the vision. Like, you can kind of use the gem for some high ground sites, but sometimes you're like next to a couple and you want to just quickly check a bunch of different areas with Sticky Napalm. All right, this time they're staying. No Wisdom Rune shenanigans. They're just gonna
Field
hold this
Rune for
area.
Copy now too. I mean, Roshan's up in 1 second. It's about to be scouted by the Phoenix. They know Nouns are smoking directly into him. Oh, the scan. What a good scan from the Radiant. They are following this courier. They know they are here. The question is, who will they find? Arteezy, the smoke will break. He's in the trees here. Copy gets the silence, but he pops the BKB right away. The backside of the fight. The Phoenix gets eliminated. He's going to buy back right away. Yopaj hiding in the trees under the cover of this Silverage. Copy's going to go in, gets the silence, but Redmond's going to catch This DK is forced to BKB, and Arteezy, he's got to run as well. His BKB's expired. Yopaj on the run. The Vessel continuing. They've got the gem to scout him out. Triple kill for the Yuma Ursa. And this time, it swings for Nouns.
Dire's middle barracks.
This is third Roche with an Axe, baby. This is huge.
Shopify Rebellion got the scan, right?
Yeah, it was Radiant. They caught the tail end. I think they were expecting to come from like the right side because the scan hit. But they were so far to the left. It hit like the last person. The team was like already at the well. I think it caught him off guard.
Yeah, because the one who broke the smoke was Arteezy, which is not what you want. You want Phoenix and Arteezy to not be the ones breaking the smoke, and they were literally both of the ones who got found first. Phoenix got instantly killed. Like, before we could even talk about it, I was gonna say Roche Pit is usually a fantastic area for Phoenix egg. If Phoenix is already in the area, you can like egg in the perfect spot. It's really hard to get to. You have to commit way too far. But with the angle Nouns came in, they instantly killed Phoenix, and Tiny was separated from the team, so then everyone else had to come running in. But once you lose the Phoenix like that, your team fight is significantly weaker. So after finding the Phoenix, they were just able to go target to target and clean up, not everyone, but he killed off enough heroes that you've now, like you said, got the third Roche. They never even used the last cheese, so they actually have 2 cheeses right now.
Really? They're gonna give it to Copy? No way.
Yeah,
Dude.
blessing?
Yeah. You could get parting shots or a BKB piercing root on either of these supports.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Or
Like 2
Bulwark
BKB piercing
soldiers.
disables. There's no way he just sells his Ags, right? He actually... Please give it to his support, please.
Where did it go? I was looking at the other heroes.
I don't... He's actually sending his... Yep, he gave his Ags away. Yep, wow, so Copy consumes the Ags blessing, and he's gonna sell his own for like the 20-something hundred gold? 2100 gold?
I thought you could just consume it and you would... Oh, maybe that's only Alchemist.
That's Alchemist, yeah.
I see. I never get it, so I don't know these mechanics, man. They never give it to me.
Man, that is surprising. You had 2 BKB piercing disables from the Aghanim Scepters of the supports.
Dire are scanning.
But,
So what's Copy building? Like, what did they want to prioritize his gold
Octarine.
for? Octarine?
Yeah.
That is going to allow him to jump around the fights quite a lot. Maybe find the vision, the setups, the silences to help control. I guess they're valuing that more. We'll see how it plays out because, yeah, the Ags on both Muerta and Enchantress did seem pretty good here.
I think Muerta specifically. It is one of the most underrated Aghanim Scepters in the game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a confusing one, but you essentially hit someone with it. They can't attack, but they can cast spells. So
Yeah.
you could have used it on Tiny or DK,
Radiant
and
are
yeah, they can throw out their spells, but their right-click damage would have been out of the fight for at least a little.
Lelis, he gets the ult off. Gonna turn this one around. Yopaj forced the BKB. They're gonna be able to root up that Tiny for now. He's still pretty safe. Okay. I mean, good restraint from Arteezy not to pop his BKB there. But now you are 14,000 gold behind. Double cheese available for Nouns. It's getting scary, man. They are looking pretty good. Abyssal Blade is done. He goes in, tries to grab the Bat Rider. The Remnant's there to hold him in place, and that's a massive kill. No buyback on Mind Control. And a huge part of your high ground defense. Meanwhile, Gunner just blinks into an immediate stun. Oh, he gets rid of the gem as well.
That's a bit of an oopsie there.
That was a
don't-
precast stun. He just had no idea. That's a
I'm a
massive
bit
oopsie.
hopeful for an initiation there because they just finished killing top, so I don't think they would have even been able to connect on the stun happening in the mid-high ground.
I think he was just looking to force Arteezy's BKB is really what it was. I think he was trying to go in, get like the Yules into Spearback or something, but he didn't BKB first and catches a Dragon Tail. Or he catches an Orchid into a Dragon Tail is what it was, and the Orchid caught him off guard. Wow, Fly has an AC. What? That is sick.
We We
Well.
were saying the supports are the ones doing the damage now, right? For nouns.
Yeah, they are.
This way you can argue, like, I'm still helping out. It's an armor aura, guys. I'm buffing you guys up. I'm not just building carry. Don't report me. I'm your captain. It's an AC.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that they both have gone like pretty. Like Muerta has gone for the attack speed neutral item, right, with the silence on hit. So Mindbreaker, I believe, right? So she's super happy about that. Scaling and like more scaling on the support Muerta. All right, Age is down. So they are smoked up. Whether or not they will find them here. Copy's right under a ward. He's gonna just grab those. A Yule's from Mars, actually. It was a little bit of a bait, Yule's. Interesting. But, oh, toss back. Spear, it's off the mark. But the Tiny, he gets bashed up from Yuma. Can he get out of this one? The BKB gives him the time. He's able to disengage for now, but Copy goes back in. Gets on top of the Rubik. Vessel is out looking for Yopaj. Second BKB expended. Aesthetics Cap gets him out, but the bashes are there. No TP out for Yopaj. A nice find, but will you get more? Looks like Shopify, a clean disengage for the rest of them, but that is a very nice pick. And a lot of BKBs down.
I like what nouns are doing, and I guess this is a bit why they maybe gave the Void Spirit the Ags to give him the money for all this. He's got the Ascetics Cap, he's got the Octarine, Lincolns, Kaya Sanj, so they're just letting him be in front, try to AoE silence people, try to waste abilities, trying to control him up, and then react to that. You have the Mars then ready to arena wherever you want to go.
They're going aggressive here in the mid lane. A nice fear out. Lelis, the silence catches mind control right before the BKB. So no lasso to pull them back in, as Compy will join his team in the mid lane. They're just trying to force...
Yuma's got a full Octarine if he wants to buy out.
Looking for Arteezy. Gets the Yules, the spear. Will he pop a BKB? No. Enough statuses to keep him alive, but there's the arena. That will force him out. Yuma gets the Abyssal onto MC. He is gone as well. So now, we've seen this before. 70 seconds and no Bat Rider. This time, all of Nouns grouped up, looking for the high ground. We'll see if it goes better this time. Sieging onto the tier 3, slow, but you still have 2 catapults, and that is a lot of spooky ghosts. Dragon Tail, Enrage is there. They've got on top of Yopaj, the BKB. Ursa gets bursted down before he can ult. Gunner falling low as well. Wind Waker to get him some space, but can they bring down this Tiny? He pops the Satanic. He just heals all the way back up. The egg focus down. Thanks to the Muerta, but it's a disaster for Nouns. They're falling one by one. Lelis can't do it on the backside alone. They buy back even on the Phoenix. Fly. Trying to sproink away. He's going to make it out with a TP, but 3 dead on Nouns. The toss from Tiny, perfectly timed.
Dude, Ursa got destroyed. He wasn't able to use his ultimate or BKB, which he has the Ags. So did he also get silenced with the stun? I don't see it in his death
I think he got
description,
orchided first.
All right, it may just not be showing, but yeah, unable to actually pop Enrage, and Tiny still has insane damage, especially when he crits. So Ursa died within a couple seconds there.
That was Mindbreaker. He actually got Mindbreaker is what it was. Oh, I mean, they're just going straight in, but they're just putting so much pressure. And Yopaj has no BKB, though. That is just a dead hero. They get 2 buybacks out of it. Arteezy is still very strong. Looking for an opening. If Yuma dies, that might be the end of the game.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, they need to be very careful here. They need this next Roche with so many buybacks used. Nouns needs to pick it up.
Oh,
If
Lasso's
Shopify
caught
Rebellion-
fly. They don't have a break, but the avalanche. Enough burn damage there from mind control to finish the job. That vision of this Tiny. Gets the remnant, spear, pins him against the wall, but dude, this status is ridiculous. Yule's buying some time, the toss away. Can they actually grab Arteezy? He's got a BKB, he's got Satanic, he's gonna get bashed up, but can he heal through the damage from the Ursa? He is definitely trying, and it's working for now. So much work from the Satanic. The egg is thrown. Yuma on the backside needs to run. He's just going right back in the egg. He's diebacked. A huge win from Shopify as Gunner's gotta run as well, and chase down here from Skem. They're gonna burn him a Yules from this Wind Waker. Can he get space? He traps himself in the trees instead. Oh no, it's a disaster. Gunner.
I didn't know you could get stuck there.
I didn't either.
I don't
3
think Gunner
dead,
did
no
either.
buybacks. They're gonna try and end this. They've got their eyes set on Fly Kitrak, able to dodge out the Dissimulate for now, but Mind Control will just run down this Enchantress thanks to the break here from Yopaj, and they've got plenty of chase. 4 dead on Nouns. A game was looking so good for them, but all of a sudden, it's Copy versus the world. Gets the root there onto the Phoenix, but can he actually finish the job? Looking to try and grab himself a kill, or at least buy some time for the rest of his team to get here, but Arteezy, he knows the name of the game. He's got his eyes set on these tier 4 towers and this throne, and boy, does he do so much damage to these buildings. At some point, you're gonna have enough lockdown. Aesthetics cap is not enough. They've got him. His buyback comes through. Throne exposed, and it looks like the GG comes out. Shopify somehow turned back an incredible game. It's just one fight there. The Ursa on the high ground into the dieback in the jungle. What patience.
And Nouns is going to feel a little bad about that loss. They were in pretty good control for most of it. I wouldn't say it was a guaranteed win or anything, but they were in the lead for a lot of that game. And the Ursa getting killed on that tier 3 push at the bottom lane instantly without him being able to do anything, followed by... I'm a little surprised. Like, after they bought back, they split up a little bit after leaving their lane, which is what allowed Shopify Rebellion to then find a kill onto Fly, which then, you know, we saw snowball into the rest of a winning fight for them. I think if Nouns had, like, after slipping up, they stay together, just wait out some timers, then make a push for Roche together, or maybe you just have to hold your base. You know, they could probably have stabilized, kept going there, but some back-to-back deaths there at the end kind of let that game end very quickly because of it.
I mean, they were so close to being able to bring down the Tiny, right? But he gets these like massive Satanic hits, just restoring all of his HP, and at that point, it's pretty rough. Like there's almost no turnaround. Like the egg was just completely left alone onto the high ground, healing him up, applying blind to the Ursa as well during all of this. And I think that was the one of the major issues is Yuma couldn't hit him. Like he got like a couple bashes, the Abyssal Blade as well, but at some point, just too much mischance stacked up, and the Ursa just couldn't do anything.
Does Tiny's innate ability pierce BKB? I don't know how that one works.
I don't know if his innate pierces BKB. It might,
have to
dude.
check that.
Yeah, we'll have to test some stuff. Like
'Cause
all
it was
these
really
like
close.
niche interactions are weird.
If he had died at the end, that would have been really good for Nouns. And it was close. He would like drop one Satanic hit, back up, drop one Satanic hit, back up. So it was very close. That's why I was just curious, like a little extra damage from something. For example, if the innate ability was affecting them, you know, maybe that would have been the Tiny kill much faster. And then they win the fight, they get the Roche, and then they're back in control.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, this was game 1 of this upper bracket finals. We've got, one, potentially 2 more games coming up next as, either Shopify or Nouns are going to move to the grand finals. We'll have to see. But for now, we're going to go to a short break. Everyone stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit.
wasting time, 'cause I'm already gone. So long, can you stay the night? 'Cause you're the thing I want. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Whoa. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. When it's late at night, I feel you on my skin. My skin. You're all that's on my mind. It's finally sinking in. You're it. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Oh, it's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the upper bracket finals here in these North American qualifiers for the Riyadh Masters at, of course, the Esports World Cup. My name is Cryptic, here with Z Quixotics. And game 2 of Nouns versus Shopify about to begin. And I have to say, if you're a Nouns fan, that had to be a heartbreaking loss. They were in full control of that game for so long, and just a couple of mistakes allow Shopify back into the game. And you know, when you're against these world-class teams, they punish you for these mistakes, and that's all it can take to win a game.
Yeah, it sucks, but you're gonna have to let it go and say, you know what, we were in a good spot. We could have won that game, so we don't have to feel too bad about ourselves. We have to set ourselves up in the same way and just execute a little better. Of course, both teams are going to make adaptations going into game 2 here. Going to see, what draft changes we end up with. But it was at least, it was for us, viewer-wise, it was a fun game. It was close. It was competitive. So I think that can be the hard part of competing when you take a hard loss like that, right? Like, it feels really bad. You can't let that snowball into game 2 and then you lose because you're a bit tilted, right? You just got to go, we could have done it, reset, do it this time,
Yeah. I think, there's Nouns need to overthink the loss too much. Like there really was just a couple of plays that really ended up costing them this game, and their draft was clean. Their draft made sense. They were able to execute it pretty damn well, and I think if they clean up the gameplay just even like 5%, they win that game. So it's going to be a close game too. I think the draft will play a lot into this, as we're going to jump into it right now. But these teams seem to be
Nouns,
fairly
turn to
evenly
ban.
matched.
Yeah, I would say
10 seconds
it,
remaining.
it's. I'm about to say something that I don't know how much I can really say it,
5
considering how
seconds
early in the
remaining.
patch we are. But I felt like Shopify Rebellion's draft was
Nouns, turn to
a
ban.
little easier to execute. It made a little bit more sense to me. And I like the way it played out, I
10
guess. Like there was a lot of
seconds remaining.
flexibility to it. So I felt like they
5 seconds remaining.
had an easier game plan. But Nouns came out pretty good from the
Shopify
lanes, despite that.
Rebellions, turn to
Especially
ban.
off that
Turn to
that Ursa
ban.
lane. I think the other lanes were struggling a little bit, but then they managed to find some fights to bring it back in.
10
I don't know that's
seconds
how much of a
remaining.
change they can have there in between games. Like this is such a
5
chaotic time
seconds
for pro
remaining.
teams with all these different heroes. You have to just go with what you think is good.
Nouns, turn to ban.
And to some degree, you kind of got to stick to it even after you lose. You're like, well, all our prep work is into these strategies. You know, you can't like totally pivot.
10 seconds
but
remaining.
that is a bit of the hard part with the drafting in a brand new
5
patch with so many new
seconds
things. It
remaining.
looks like so far we're not changing too much. These seem to be the heroes that
Shopify
both teams have agreed on
Rebellions,
are
turn to
pretty
ban.
broken.
Yep.
Shopify
Yep,
Rebellions.
yep. They do still respect ban the
turn to
Centaur. I was curious. I was like, you're either gonna leave, like if you didn't want to give them the Phoenix, you could ban the Phoenix, but instead they just another really smart opener to the draft here. They get rid of the Centaur, they ban out the Phoenix, and Nouns. I mean, maybe you respond with the
10
Muerta again.
seconds
I don't think it
remaining.
was bad. It looked pretty damn good last game. It's just
5 seconds remaining.
whether or not they have, you know, some other form of an egg hitter, we'll have to see.
Shopify Rebellions.
Yeah, we're
turn
currently
to
running it
ban.
back. Yeah,
I
this
think
is
it's not a bad idea.
This is the exact same game so far. I guess actually the difference is the map being they're on different sides. So last time Shopify was Radiant and Nouns is Dire. That would be
10
fun to run the
seconds
exact
remaining.
same draft, but you just switch sides of the map. See how much of an impact that could have on
5
the game.
seconds remaining.
From
Shopify
here, let's see. I think they
Rebellions, turn
banned
to ban.
Shadow Fiend on the side of Nouns for their one ban, and I think Shopify banned Clockwork and Slardar.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're Slardar, and maybe debating if, like, they did win the game, but maybe they found the Enchantress to
10
be a little bit
seconds
annoying to
remaining.
deal with. For example, maybe they want to ban that instead of the Clockwork.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know, man. Clockwork is a ridiculous hero, and Lelis is a
true.
beast on that thing.
He's pretty good too. But I mean, Shopify Rebellion maybe does want to address the draft a little bit because, like we were saying, like they could have lost that, you know? So I don't know if they want to run back the exact same draft and hope to get a little lucky there at the end. I'm sure they felt they made some of their own execution mistakes. We were saying
Nouns,
earlier,
turn
some of
to
those
ban.
blink reveals did not quite work out for them. And they made some cool plays that just didn't quite connect. So, you know, maybe if those had gone better, Shopify would have been the one in control.
All right. Well, you were correct. They addressed the Enchantress. They're saying that looked pretty
10
good last
seconds
game. It did
remaining.
rip apart that off lane pretty heavily.
5 seconds
And this will
remaining.
force Nouns to pull out something a little bit different. The Clockwork, obviously, an option for them if they
Nouns,
want it. They
turn
do
to
ban
pick.
out the Shadow Fiend. Oh, this is
Shopify
literally
Rebellions, turn
piece for piece the same opener of the draft minus the Enchantress ban. And now we'll see the Dragon Knight sniped away, put into the hands of Nouns, as this has been something that Shopify have loved to run today.
Time to snipe their Clockwork now.
10
No, I don't know.
seconds remaining.
Dragon Knight is the corrosive dragon looks good, and I
5
really think you can
seconds
still play it in
remaining.
all three roles. We've seen carry and mid now. Have not seen an off lane Dragon Knight yet in any of the games we've watched today, but I think it can work. So I kind of think we're back to this. It's just different. It's like Dragon Knight still flex pick early, but instead of he's gonna go Manta Ags, whatever build, whatever role. It's now, oh, he's gonna go corrosive dragon and apply a lot of early pressure, which is maybe a little bit more in line with Dragonite of old before this Manta build really caught on.
Wow, okay, they actually feel confident to go back for the Rubik again. I am surprised because we've seen a lot of people going Rubik. I haven't seen it have like amazing. There hasn't been like, oh my
10
gosh, that was a
seconds
sick Rubik
remaining.
player. Like, but it's winning. That's the thing that's so weird. It just keeps winning
5
games, and
seconds
its win
remaining.
rate on this patch is exceedingly high. So I'm curious as to like what it is that is allowing Rubik to win. I don't even know if it's the hero or if it's just like by chance or what.
At least for the games we watched today, what I will say is that he did not need to have like an amazing performance in the games we saw. Like the other heroes just like took over the game. And he's like, oh yeah, I just like lived for you guys. It's cool. You know, I do think Rubik can still have those awesome spell steals and can have some cool effects. Like this game, Dragon Tail is a great steal. Muerta's Q and her W, really good steals. So he is set up to have
10
some
seconds
nice,
remaining.
nice playmaking potential already.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, it really does come down to like everything else going on. If he needs to make like those awesome plays, oh, he stole the big ult, he's like doing everything right. Shopify Rebellion is just running it back with the Tiny again, which Tiny, just like Dragonite, can flex. So I also like this, and it's now on to Nouns to decide, how do you deal with a Tiny Rubik lane, a Tiny Phoenix lane, or a Tiny mid?
I wonder if they want to go for like a support plus Timbersaw pick here. Something along those lines, maybe. But if you go for something like Timbersaw, you lack a lot of potential to kill the egg, is the issue. So your support would have to make up for it pretty heavily. I wouldn't mind another like blink hero that they can initiate with though. Okay, they go for the clockwork. Left in the pool, might as well. It's fantastic against the Phoenix. It is really difficult to play Phoenix into this hero. I thought Shopify might take it themselves for the opposite reason, whereas Clockwork is amazing at protecting the egg. He's one of the best like turnaround potential, you know, heroes at keeping the egg alive.
Remaining.
Yeah, I think you can now go for something like the Timbersaw you talked about, though you'd have 2 counter picks to the Timber. Timber seems good. I'm not sure he's in the same spot as last patch where it's like, yeah, just first pick Timber. He's always broken. You know, he did get changed up a little bit. Still seems really good to me, but maybe Shopify has, you know, some preparation response to it. Oftentimes the best Timber games are when you get to see like a couple strength cores and then you pick it up.
Ooh, interesting.
They're technically keeping the flex alive. You can
I was like, there's a
support.
lot of flex.
So far, I've only seen Muerta supports, I think.
Yeah, same. I think it's almost guaranteed to be Muerta 4 and then Clock 5 Gyro in the carry position. That's the one that makes the most sense to me, but none of it is like kind of set in stone. Like there's a lot of stuff that they can do to move things around here. They're gonna pick up the Mars for Shopify, a great hero if it is a core gyrocopter, right? Your flak will just get eaten alive by the arena.
Yeah, that's actually such a good pick. You're back to the... This is part of why Nouns picked Mars last time, is to steal it from them so that you don't have the Mars-Phoenix combo.
Yep.
This time you got it yourself, and it's good versus the flat cannon. I really like this pick. This kind of what I meant when I was saying, like, technically both drafts are, like, playable, is, like, somewhat there, but it feels like Shopify is getting the better picks throughout. So coming into the final picks, there is still some flex, but for Shopify, probably looking for a carry or a mid, and for Nouns, an offlaner or a mid.
Yeah,
I think they have enough
Shopify want
initiation.
Yopaj. Yeah, you're right.
The final pick Yopaj.
Especially with like the Death Prophet ban here, like it seems like they're just banning for whatever they want Yopaj. Or I guess if you are worried about the potential mid of Tiny, right? Death Prophet is pretty scary for that.
I guess the question for Shopify is if they feel Tiny will deal with Gyrocopter, because technically Gyrocopter's
Shopify
flak is heavily
Rebellion's
blocked by
turn to
Mars,
ban.
but he still has to kill Gyrocopter eventually, right? So will Tiny be enough for that? Do they want a different carry matchup? Or if they think it'll be fine, then maybe one more playmaker could be good, because currently it's Mars. And
Shopify
Rubik does have some good
Rebellion's
steals, so I
turn
feel like
to
that's
pick.
sort of enough.
Nouns
But
turn to
Viper,
pick.
Phoenix does not contribute that much to like team fights. Okay, looks like they are going to go Timbersaw and trust the Rubik Tiny Mars to have enough crowd control for all the damage to come in.
So this is a pretty sick Timber
10
pick because, like I
seconds
said, I
remaining.
thought they could pick it themselves on Noun, so it's a little bit of a deny.
5 seconds remaining.
But I mean, with this, it's definitely, you know, core Tiny, mid Timber here for Yopaj. Almost guaranteed you could potentially dodge like a bad matchup if you really want to put the Mars mid. But there's not a lot left in the pool that can deal with the Timbersaw in the mid lane.
See, they banned out the Leshrac themselves.
Dude, do you go back for Void Spirit and then just do the Vessel build again?
I don't know if you're going to be okay versus Timbersaw.
Timbersaw, he doesn't have as much damage on his auto attacks as he used to now that he's strength. I mean, he has the same damage at level 1, but it doesn't scale as high per level.
You may now select your
Ooh,
heroes.
that is a nice adaptation. Dude, this is one of the classic best counters in the game to Timbersaw. We haven't seen this in quite a while.
Yeah, Bat Rider was a support last patch, but some of these facets Arsonist looks like he's got right now is sort of allowing the core Bat Rider to come back. We just saw off lane last game. And mid, yeah, it should be okay versus Timbersaw because you can stack up all the Q and you have so much magic damage, which is Timber's weakness.
And Batrider has actual attack damage now, right? Like, it was one of these things is the reason, like, Batrider used to struggle a lot against certain mid heroes is you had, like, 30 damage and had to, you know, spam sticky napalm to try and get damage. And they would offset it by just having 20 stick charges. But now, Batrider having quite a bit of damage just built into his hero. He has, of course, the dot that applies from his auto attacks and early points in napalm, and as well as flame break. I like this pick a lot. It's pretty damn good. We'll see if it works though, right? Because like it is going to be a lot on his back here to bring in some tempo early on. Now, whether or not the Arsonist pays off, we'll have to see, because obviously that's great for hitting towers, but I have not seen almost anyone take this facet. I think most people are going the other.
I haven't seen too much about Rider, so yeah, I'm not sure on that either. It'll be fun to find out here. I'm curious how Dragonite is going to do versus the Tiny, because I think that was kind of the cool part about picking this Timber, is that you saw the Dragonite flex, and you're like, okay, you're playing Dragonite off lane, because otherwise you're losing your mid lane to our Timbersaw. So I feel like they knew they would get Tiny versus Dragonite, which means we might see, like, if that's a winning matchup for them, then they should farm all right. But this is Corrosive Breath Dragonite, who has negative armor, versus a Tiny who has no armor at the start, and a Phoenix who has very low armor. So I'm wondering if they can get something done there. Usually I would say, like, in the past, Dragonite would not be able to apply enough pressure early, but this is where I'm still kind of learning about this facet.
He went Frost Dragon on the Worm's Wrath.
What?
He's going the attack slow, which honestly is kind of a sick idea against Tiny if you think about it. Tiny is one of those heroes where if you can build attack slow onto this, it is impossible to play the game. And Dragonite is one of those heroes that used to counter him, especially with an Aghanim Scepter in the late game. You just remove his ability to attack. And it has healing reduction turned into it as well. So heroes like Phoenix with the Sunray and stuff are going to be a lot less effective.
Yeah, I swear I saw him pick Corrosive Breath in the draft, but maybe that was bugged or maybe changed it last second. But yeah, the Frost, the attack slow is good in the lane. In the late game, it starts dropping off because it's 35 in the late game, which is it's nice, but it's not the most. But that heal reduction will be very good versus Phoenix, Timbersaw, tanky Tiny with like Satanic. We saw kept him alive in that last fight in our game just before this. So that's pretty cool. I will also say for the laning stage, the slow is really strong combined with Muerta. You can keep them in the calling for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. This is the first time I've seen the Frost option picked, so it'll be fun to see. Mid lane, we're going to see Copy and Yopaj kind of duking it out. I feel like this, again, should be a pretty damn good lane here for the Batrider, and Yopaj will have to be very careful not to give up some early deaths. Oh, that deny is massive. Yopaj almost guaranteed dies there if he doesn't get that deny. That is big. Very well played from Yopaj.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
That would have been like an immediate level 2 off of Copy, and you just dive him. All right. Bottom lane actually looking quite good. MC already very low. I'm sure Fly is having a lot of fun with the cogs. Like, looking at MC's mana, I'm sure he has been hit by a few cogs already.
Yeah, I saw him kicking those cogs around.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
really
that makes
fun.
sense.
Anyone watching, if you haven't tried it yet, it's really fun.
Dude, how often, like, when was the last time you would see a Clockwork start cogs, right? It just never was a thing. But now it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Damage-wise, Battery Assault is still kind of better and more consistent if you could isolate someone in the jungle. But nowadays, there's so much standing in the lanes, it's pretty hard to make sure Battery Assault's like only going to hit heroes, not just hit creeps. So Cogs is a little bit easier. And if you can hit enough Cogs, which is a little bit chance-based on like what the enemy's doing, you can get very similar damage. So it's pretty cool to see. It's also cheaper, so it's easier to just use power Cogs all the time.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, Kitrak and Fly, he's just like sidestepping cogs, just shooting across the map. It's just good stuff. I love it. It's such a fun little mini game that they added. Right now, though, lane's looking fairly good for Shopify. Mid lane, specifically, great for Yopaj. Where things get scary is, like, in mid Timber, you almost never want to put any points in your Timber chain. Like, you want to try and go, like, 4-0, 4-0-3, obviously, with, like, a point in ult, and, like, maybe one casual point in your Timber chain, but you have to get Timber chain early against a hero like Batrider.
Yeah, I like that he's saving the skill point, though. You can tell he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
but
it's
he
exactly
knows
what it is. Like,
he
you want
has
to
to be.
sustain, but
There you go. Like, he has to use it right now, or else he would have died there.
still
Might still
might
get run
die.
down.
He's
pretty close.
really low.
3 napalm? Not
Oh,
enough.
yeah. All right. Yeah, this is where things start getting really difficult. The second point in Napalm, I don't think he's gonna put a point in Firefly. He might put a second point in Flame Break just because now that he sees the Timber Chain. But Yopaj can't really walk into this lane for a while until he can get, he needs like Water Rune and maybe the Bounty Rune to reset his health. He did honestly have a really good start though. So, props to Yopaj for starting out the lane as good as he possibly could have. Yep, there it is. Water Rune into the Bounty Rune as expected.
He's even thinking about coming all the way bottom.
Oh, I didn't realize he doesn't have a bottle.
No ward that spots this. He felt that, yeah, he got boots first. Felt the need to get it.
This is a really nice grab, and honestly, Yopaj should have the damage to bring down Fly, but MC will be the one to finish it off. And this is the best thing you can do. When you're in a lane that you actually cannot approach anymore, that is a super sick rotation. They get first blood in a lane that they're also kind of struggling in a little bit. That's nice. Very well done there from Yopaj.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, it's really cool because Timbersaw is not the hero who usually has to do that. Who's like, oh, this lane's not going well. I better go find something somewhere else. So very cool from Yopaj to still be aware of that option and just show up for a gank.
Yeah. Alright. I mean, Tiny's not struggling, as much as I thought he would in a potential pretty rough lane. And You know, Gunner also, he's still sitting on 11 denies. It's not like his lane's going bad by any means.
Yeah, he's got a good chunk of denies here. So I
Really nice
can't
pull,
see
though.
how much. I don't know how many of these are like jungle last hits that Tiny has. He's gonna rack up some more last hits around a small camp.
Dude, Copy is level 6 now. He has such an advantage over the Timbersaw. I mean, the rotation bottom, of course, is going to be difficult, but they're bringing numbers into the mid lane. Flame Break into the lasso. They've got a Silence, a Fear as well. Trying to get in range of the Clockwork. They don't actually stop the Timber Chain out, but of
They're still
course,
gonna run him down.
plenty of damage from the Bat Rider. This is kind of what we saw in reverse of last game. Shopify did this to
Dire's middle
Copy,
tower
right?
is under
To use the
attack.
early level 6 from the Dragon Knight, collapse onto the tower, get the kill onto the Void Spirit, and now it's completely Uno reversed.
What rune did he get? Arcane rune.
Yeah, that's nice.
He can use that for another kill later on. Yopaj's gonna have to find something to do.
Well, he's trying to find another kill in the bot lane. That'll definitely help, but there's TPs coming. Copy is here, and Fly, he's not far away either. That Arcane Rune already popped, trying to get some mana here and chase down Mind Control. Be able to make the kill. Oh, the Cogs. The Cogs!
Mana burn!
Yopaj almost out of mana, tries to stick through these, but these sticky napalms, it's stacking up. The missile's gonna connect. Flame Break back. He's got 5 stacks. Yopaj is dead. Dude, tip that Clockwork. Holy heck. Perfect use of those cogs from Fly.
Double mana burn there. If he did not have the wand, he definitely would have died, but it bought enough time that 5 napalm stacks killed off with Flame Break. Oh, this is to be the roughest Timbersaw start we've seen in a long time. He's been so broken for so long.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you pick the Bat Rider, right? It is, as long as I can remember, you would see a Timbersaw in a game, and your offlaner would instantly pick Bat Rider, or your mid lane would pick Bat Rider, because you're like, yeah, I'll eat this Timbersaw alive at every stage of the game. But Timbersaw got to a point where he was so broken that he could just output enough damage to where it didn't matter. And yeah, with this much of a good start from the Bat Rider, you're feeling really good.
Yeah, with the rotation as well, Fly is almost level 5 on
Radiant's
Clockwork.
top
That's
tower
really
is under
scary.
attack.
The cogs just get stronger. I guess that's obvious, but they really do ramp up. They're scaling, and the fact that you can now you can reliably hit quite a few cogs on the same hero.
That's on just more kills. And dude, these stacks, you cannot afford to lose on Shopify. Your Timbersaw
Dire's
needs
top
these
tower
so
is under
desperately.
attack.
Fly will just get a D-ward as Skem walks on in. The Bat Rider, luckily for them, has no mana left. Or didn't have. Yeah, so he TP'd all the way to base. So they know about the stacks. I don't know if they can pressure them right now, but a 2,000 gold lead, not too shabby here for now to start off this game too.
Cool. Copy got power treads. I don't think I've seen that.
If he's going this was it Arsonist? The
Yeah, Arsonist.
facet? I feel like treads are better, right?
Let you attack the building more after you build up the stats.
Yeah.
Scanning.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool. He's come up here with the DK. Maybe they're looking to try to take this tower. Elder Form plus Arsonist. I don't think I've seen that. I'm curious how fast this tower will fall if it's not defended.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Copy. Go hit that tower. I gotta see this in action.
Yeah. Gunner, I mean, you don't do quite as much damage to towers anymore, but yeah, here we go. Sticky Napalm coming through. He's going to
Dire's
start beating through this
structures are
tower.
fortified.
Fortification to buy him a little bit of time, but
Dire's top
yeah,
tower
Bat Rider's
is
going to
under
shoot through this,
attack.
no problem. I think the idea here maybe behind the Arsonist is they need tower pressure, and it's not coming from the DK this game because he's gone for the Frost Dragon. So I wonder if that's the
Dire's
idea
top
behind
tower
it.
has fallen.
Like they had to offset not going corrosive for tower damage, and just like, well, Bat Rider can kind of do it. I don't know if they went that deep onto the thought process, but it kind of makes sense.
It's an interesting idea for sure. That's the cool thing about all these facets, right? There's going to be, at least for us, We just get to like think like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's nifty. The pros have a lot more on the line picking the
Dire's
right one.
bottom tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
All right, Yuma off to a great start again. He is level 8, closing in on his Chrysalis into an Aghanim Scepter. So Falcon Blade is just not an item we really see a lot of heroes buy anymore. Like, the offset has been everyone just buys Null Talisman because it's efficient mana regen and a lot cheaper. But on Gyrocopter, I guess Yuma feels like it is strong enough because your first few items are really expensive, so you're going to have the item slot anyway.
Maybe, and also I guess with flat cannon, you probably get a lot of value out of the damage compared to
the
other carries who are buying the Null Talisman more for the mana regen. It's for Gyro, yeah, the mana regen is important, but also the damage off of flak.
Poppy playing on the edge right now with his Batrider. Well, has a lot of stacks as well. They're actually just going to smoke. The line drawn to the enemy triangle. Do they have the damage with just these heroes, though?
If you get the cogs, you hit multiple cogs, yes.
They're hoping someone comes in here to farm these.
Clockwork's so close to 6, actually.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Maybe they
middle
should have
tower
finished that
is under
before going
attack.
for a play.
They're just missing this. Yopaj is now making the attempt onto these ancient stacks.
I think they called this. I don't think they saw the smoke, but
They definitely didn't.
suspected this was coming, and they were ready to protect their stacks, and they just waited to see if Nouns would get impatient. Oh, we didn't find anyone. Let's do the stacks. You know, kind of reveal themselves, and then you can jump them. But in the end, he's just going to clear this himself, and he was having a rough start, but with all these stacks, Timber's starting to get himself back into this game.
Yeah, they've done a lot of stacking this game already on Shopify. Like every single jungle camp on the top side of the map was being stacked for him, and then they also had the triangle being stacked. So his recovery is there for sure. He's not too far behind the Batrider, about 1,000 gold, but XP wise, it's almost neck and neck. So I think for the most part, you've got to be pretty happy for this Timbersaw. It's going to come down to his first big item timings, though. Like I don't know if he's going to get to his Blink Dagger nearly as fast as he would normally like.
Eternal Shroud queued up next for Timbersaw. When he does get that, it's going to be pretty tough to kill him, because Gyro will probably still be farming up his... Well, actually, at the rate he's going, he probably will have his Aghanims before that, or at, like, on par with that Eternal Shroud.
Yeah, he's less than 2,000 away.
Yeah, but the
Or no,
physical
I guess
damage to
3,000
kill the
away.
Timber will have to come from Gyro once this Eternal Shroud's online.
Hook shot in. Mind control in trouble. Yeah, there is so much magic damage between these two. There's no way he's getting out of that one. Just one of the reasons we see Clockwork banned a lot, right? Is just how much damage he
Dire's
brings from a
middle
support
tower is
position.
under attack.
Gunner showing off the new Crownfall Act 2 Dragon Knight skin. Hashtag ad. Thank you, Valve.
Dire's structures are fortified.
No, it's a cool one. I like this one. There's a lot of good DK skins, though. It's hard to
Radiant
choose.
are scanning.
There are. There's a lot of good ones. I will say, the best thing about him taking Frost Dragon is that we get to see the Frost Dragon projectile, which is the coolest one by far, in my opinion. But in the old Dragonite, you don't get to see it till level 18, you know? And nowadays, everyone's taking the red and the green, so now we get to see the cool blue projectile.
So during all of this that's been going on for the last few minutes, we haven't really addressed the Tiny, right? Shopify is farming on Arteezy. We saw him do this last game, even in a not the greatest lane. He just massively farms on this hero. He's got his Silver Edge. He's closing in on his Shard, which he can pick up in about 30 seconds. And at that point, he starts to kind of pull away. And Gyro should be able to stay in front of him, but the Tiny is going to be a pretty big deal again this game. It looks like.
Yeah, right now, Nouns has a 3k lead, starting to feel good, but it will still come down to a lot of how these fights are executed. If you get a good arena egg, you can still absolutely crush a fight against Nouns. And especially depending where the gyrocopter is, who is very farmed, but if you can zone him out of the fight because of the arena, then none of that damage is actually coming through. So it is once again going to come down to some execution, and that's where Shopify was looking a little bit better in game one. Hopefully the break in between Nouns has, I don't know, warmed up or gotten into it, but they are going to have to be careful about how they go into these fights.
Yeah. And Lelis, same build as last game, the Atos first on the Muerta. I was curious if he was going to play for a more greedy build, since we don't have, like, what looks... Well, I guess you have Batrider and DK to play around, and they're going to get the blink reveal out of the mid lane from MC. Gunner immediately pops the ult. They're going to go ahead and get a nice arena to trap him in place. Clockwork doing his best to hold them down here in these cogs. The egg will not connect. They have pushed them away. So a great pickoff, though. Getting Gunner is huge, but you have a Batrider coming through. Yuma's here as well. The call down will not connect onto Kitrak. The missile is there. But they're not gonna, are they gonna chase? They have to chase, right? Copy has Witchblade. You can do so much damage. He actually grabs, he gets mind control in the cogs. He's just stuck here at Fly on the backside, losing a lot of HP, but just tanks through it. Full stick there to keep him alive. So it ends up being a off lane for off lane, I suppose. Overall, a good trade for Shopify. Arteezy's just farming the whole time.
Finding that Mars kill is nice for them, though. That's one of the nice things about this expanded armature on Cog. Uh-oh, hold that thought.
Uh-oh, that is a lot of damage from this Batrider, and Gunner's there.
Ooh,
that's
right,
a sick TP from him. Goes to the bottom and then through the gate to join that fight. That is really nice.
They ping and Roche. Now with 5 heroes here, actually, it'll take a little bit, but they can do
Poppy
this.
does a lot of damage to Roche once he builds up these napalms.
Actually, yeah, you're right. This is going faster than I thought.
Chrysalis on the gyrocopter with the Ags completed. I mean, this is done. Again, Nouns, this team has looked really good at making the objective play for Roshan. We saw them last game. They got all 3 of the Roches. They didn't end up winning, but I don't think it was because they didn't get the Roshan, or because, you know, of that. Yeah, they managed to claim Roshan again fairly early, 17.5 minutes roughly. Poppy here, however, is in so deep by himself, and these are some of these deaths that you cannot afford to make against Shopify, because that is so much gold you're giving away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I have just noticed.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh, hit me. What have you noticed?
Ryan is working on a maelstrom. And I don't think I've seen this in a long time.
He's not even working on it. He has it. Okay,
There you
so
Radiant's
could it
bottom
be
tower
that
is
he
under
wants to
attack.
go... So here's the thing. Dragonite actually does a lot of damage. He can scale really well as a right-clicking hero. Oh, they've caught Fly, the courier. It's going to make it through, but you're going to lose your Clockwork for now. Nice Atos heal coming through from the Sunray. Gunner comes in with Blink. Dragon Tail is out. Big call down, but Gunner just gets surrounded. And Yuma stuck inside the egg as well. Is gonna collapse. They've just got the Aegis now for free. Mind control gets out. The question is, can they get more avalanche? The toss back. Your Yuma gyrocopter is dead. A disaster for Nouns.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Gyro was on the outside of the arena, and all the flak shots that got blocked probably mitigated like thousands of damage for the side of Shopify. At least they would have killed the Mars with the flak cannon, if not more. So that's why it does come down to these executions, and they really probably should have just let that Clockwork die. They tried to get more out of it, but they weren't really set up, and Shopify has an easier set of spells for the team fight that you need to be careful how you go into these.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, the Tiny is now a major issue. Kaya, or Sanj and Yasha with the Echo Saber is done. He's level 15. This dude is just going to barrel down the lane and kill everything he sees.
Radiant structures are
20-minute Tormentor is up. MC as well as Arteezy should be able to grab this pretty damn easily. Well, it's actually taking him a little bit longer than I thought. Skev needs to be careful. Guys?
Correct's here to tag out.
Yeah. That took him a moment, but yeah, they do manage to get it.
You get it for the Mars. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Phoenix already bought one for the Sunray during Supernova.
I want to come back to the Dragonite because we mentioned it earlier. This hero, like I said, can scale very well in terms of the right-click department, and you can build for like a late-game Mjolnir. You could go for a Gleipnir if you really want copy grabbing a solo kill in the top lane. Committing Lasso, or he didn't commit Lasso, he just right-clicked him down. Very nice. So I could see the idea with this being is we need a second scaling core, like right-clicking core, to deal with the Tiny, and the Frost Dragon's a pretty good avenue for doing it.
I guess they feel they need a lot because I feel like Muerta, she's also going for a Gleipnir, so I thought she would have been the scaling core, but I suppose Batrider's damage will drop off as the game goes on, as BKBs come out, and you might end up being a little bit more of a support Batrider or utility, like offlane Batrider as the game goes on. So yeah, with this Maelstrom, it is probably the best farming item he could get. That still helps out in terms of fighting.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean the other option is like Mage Slayer, right? Which we see a lot out of DK still, but it's just not a great Mage Slayer game.
Is under attack.
Like maybe you'd reduce some of the damage that comes out from the Timber, but this Tiny and the Arena is still just gonna lock your team in place.
Top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Up to 36.6% status resistance, as he will just beat down another tower.
Radiant
And an immediate smoke from Shopify. They're gonna head back across the map, see what they can find. Scan does connect, so they have an idea. They're like, all right, yeah, they're coming into the triangle. Yuma's gonna TP directly to the bottom side of the map to dodge this one out. He's not gonna be able to finish off his stack here, but it's okay. Better than dying.
Yeah, you don't want to fight right now until Gyro finishes BKB. He's about 1,000 away, but until he can put himself in the correct area against Arena, you're just not going to win these fights.
Ooh, they see copy now. They need a TP and quick. They know that they're coming. In is Rune into the TP. Lelis will make it out as well. All 5 members managed to dodge out this smoke gang from Shopify. I mean, that's a really good maneuver. They got top lane fully pushed in. They're back bottom farming. Not bad.
Might try again. They're grouping up bottom.
Yeah, Gunner needs
No,
to be
I guess
a
Tiny's
little
also close to
careful.
BKB. Should probably just let him finish that.
Yeah, he's got some ancient stacks, and it's going to be respawning again in a moment, so he'll be very close to grabbing it. All right, I mean, the game is still very even, but I feel like Nouns, I think they're definitely worried about what's happening right now. Like, they're kind of on the back foot. They don't really feel like they can take fights right now. I don't really blame them, right? The Mars Phoenix egg is always really scary. But I think at BKB on Yuma, that can definitely help.
Yeah, if you don't get to the Phoenix either, the hotspot Sunray is going to be doing a lot of work.
We've seen this before.
Where's Kitrak? Tag out.
They do manage to get both of the Tormentors here off the map, so really good influx of gold from Shopify. Kitrak will get the shard. And he's actually got a Vessel. I like this from the Rubik. We don't really see that often.
Nice thing about the shard telekinesis, you should be able to lift people out of power cogs now. They'll probably still get hit on the way out, but better than getting knocked back in and staying out of position.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any big shard steals.
This is a massive kill if they can actually get the Tiny, but they're so afraid. They don't know where the rest of the heroes are. They don't want to commit the lasso. It doesn't last very long against this guy.
Yeah, Gyro's not with them, so they're missing... He's probably like 50% of their damage right now.
Yeah.
All right, well, they didn't commit anything big for it, so they're just gonna back off, and I guess Roche is probably on the radar for both teams. It's a 2-minute spawn, a little bit longer than we had last game.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
They
fortified.
will force the fortification out of top lane. It doesn't look like Shopify are going to respond to this tier 2 tower push top lane. Arteezy is shoving in bottom. And it will eventually force someone back on Nouns.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Man, the score is 7-6. Well, I have not seen like this low of a kill score game in between these two teams in quite a while. But they are keeping the game almost dead even. And it's kind of similar to last game, right? Like this game, last game was very close until essentially a Roche fight, right? Where Nouns ended up taking a massive advantage.
Yeah, much slower paced game. And okay, hold that ball.
Oh, Dragon Tail, they've caught the Phoenix. A great way to open the fight. Lasso still available, but they will take their win.
Gem drop too, but they couldn't see it in all the effects, so they actually didn't steal it. Shopify Rebellion recovers their gem.
That feels kind of rough for Shopify,
Phoenix
but
skill's
yeah,
really
not
good.
losing the gem is bad.
Phoenix kill is really good
Dire's
to
middle
make you
tower
feel like
is
you
under
can keep
attack.
going. Maybe like if they knew Roshan was really close to spawning, they could maybe force it without Egg being in the fight. But I think by the time they find out, Phoenix will be back up. You're gonna find another Phoenix pick off. If you try to focus someone else, that's like, I think you need to find Mars or Phoenix to start, because otherwise, if those two heroes are allowed to just wait, you're gonna get a huge arena egg combo and trap everyone in there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that is very true. All right, Compy, level 18. I mean, he is farming very well. It's just... I do wonder if it's going to have the late game impact that it needs to as like a mid lane hero, right? And maybe that's why Gunner's going more of a damage-oriented build on the Dragon Knight here with like this Maelstrom. But he's got the Aghanim Scepter queued up. He wants that level 18, the max, you know, level Frost Dragon. Nice toss. Ends up getting tanked by Gunner, though. This is going to connect onto the Tiny. He, again, very difficult to actually stay on top of this guy. As an aggressive ward comes out, Kitrak grabs Pompey. His BKB is going to get popped, but he nearly dies immediately. And Yuma, with his own BKB, the egg is down on the backside, and Gunner's trying to just clean it up himself, but he can't. The team fight from Shopify, too damn strong, will push them away. Every BKB, I think, expended here.
And no one died.
Nobody died.
These heroes are so tanky. Yeah, but those
Dire's
BKBs
bottom tower
being
is under
used...
attack.
Oh, maybe you can fight, because that was Arena Egg. Yeah, it looks like they healed. They're
You
coming
have
back.
Lasso.
Round 2, no BKBs this time.
I mean, it's really good if they can find the right targets. Great silence. They trap Tiny inside of the cogs, but can they actually finish the job? The heal reduction from this Dragon Knight's actually doing quite a bit of work. Missile trying to connect onto Yopaj. His BKB saving him for the moment. You've still got a lasso, but can you find anything? Call down, trying to scout RTs, and the missile connects on the front side, grabbing Yopaj. But the disengage, it's all there. Shopify get out, the teleports all the way to the bottom side of the map as both teams know Roshan's moving to the Radiant side. And I think their TPs were scouted by a ward.
I think round 3 of no one dying coming up here. I think BKBs will be up this time.
Yeah,
If
10 to 15 seconds for all of them.
Yeah, just a few more. There is an amplified damage on Bat Rider this time, so a little more to work with. But with the BKB's back, his damage is, if he gets the lasso first, I guess actually, maybe he can do it. But he doesn't quite have enough attack speed, which I think is like how he's pivoting his build. He has the shard so he can attack during his lasso, and you just stack up a bunch of napalm damage. But he doesn't quite have that much attack speed yet.
It's also difficult for him to find his lasso target since he doesn't have a blink dagger, right? Like, he's relying on just the move speed of the hero to try and get in, find a target, or try and punish someone for aggressively jumping in, right? Well, there's the roar from Roshan, so a little bit of a bait potentially here from Nouns. Question is, will they actually find anybody? They're just barreling down the lane. They say, screw it, man. We dare you. Try and finish Roshan. You're gonna have to come back. This is a good bluff call from Shopify. If you go for the Roche, you're gonna lose your tier 3 to this Tiny. You have 1 fortification.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All right, Roshan's dead. They're starting to TP back. Aegis into Yuma,
Dire's structures
and
are
tier 3
fortified.
fort will come through. So Shopify trade the high ground, first fortification for the Aegis.
They want to back off too. Yeah, that's maybe hoping to get more out of that. I guess they were really worried about approaching the Roche pit against Gyrocopter, having that flak. But even with the arena, that's why I thought they might still be willing to do it. Arena Egg is really good around Roche pit, but I guess
They
not
did have
being
the
in
vision
position for it.
advantage.
Yeah, they felt it was too hard. We get a Fortify out of it, but Fortify for Roche doesn't sound like a great trade, like, in the end. Did they know Roche was up? They did, right?
Yeah,
had
because they
already
heard the roar.
spawned. Yeah,
They heard the
oh, yeah,
roar
yeah,
and just
yeah,
started
right, yeah, right.
barreling down the lane.
I was wondering if maybe they were hoping it wasn't up, but yeah.
Gunnar is very close to his Ags and his 18, so his Frost Dragon's about to be very annoying. You must start to do some serious damage, bud. The question of can you counter the Tiny's damage is always the question. Like, is always super difficult. We saw last game in Ursa nearly finishing him off, and they just popped Satanic and 2-tapped the whole team. Full heal.
That should help.
I wonder... I don't know how this works. If the flak shot hits Tiny, does it reduce the damage?
Dude, I don't know, man. This new innate is so weird. I feel like his innate is so ridiculously strong.
Oh,
It
we were
also
talking about it. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's like it brings back. It's like PTSD for me, man. I like when Craggy Exterior used to exist in Dota. It was the most frustrating thing to ever play against. You couldn't pick a single melee hero against Tiny.
I was gonna say, in between the games, we were testing how the innate works through BKB. So you can dispel the effects of the innate ability when you activate the BKB, and when your BKB is up, you don't get any new charges. But I don't know if like a secondary attack projectile launches if it starts stacking.
Yeah, I imagine it doesn't. That would be very weird. Copy on the bottom lane does have his Blink Dagger now, looking for the Hurricane Pike next.
Dire's
And
bottom tower is under attack.
They're only 3,000 gold ahead here on Shopify, and you're playing into a Gyro Aegis. It's a little bit scary, so they might try and just bide some time and slow this one down, but looks like Gyro should have the green light to try and pressure this tier 2, as they do see the Tiny in the top side.
He has his Daedalus. We saw how much burst damage can come out of the Tiny.
Radiant's top tower
You are
is
not
under
ready for it.
attack.
And he also picked up Defiant Shell, which is particularly good for a high damage but very slow attack speed hero like Tiny.
Oh my god. That Tormentor I felt like did more damage than I was expecting. Oh my goodness. Lelis gets the shard, which is quite nice.
Radiant's top tower is
Being
under
like,
attack.
obviously it's retroactive and he has no stacks at the moment, but a little bit of extra spell lifesteal during the ult. Always nice to have.
It's true. It is still 8-6 at 35 minutes, so Shard currently not doing that much for him.
Their own Tormentor is up as well if they want to try and grab the other. So we might see them do that.
Let's see. Who's left? Jetpack. Homing Missile being
Gyro.
upgraded.
Yeah.
And Fireball. Maybe Jetpack's the most useful.
Yeah, Jetpack's pretty cool.
Can he fly over Arena? I actually don't know that one.
That's a good question. A lot of Z-axis stuff doesn't work on Arena anymore, so I don't think he can. Like, most abilities that move you up on the Z-axis don't get you out of Arena.
You know how the Arena has... I'm sure there is a architecture term for this, but whatever the windows from the arches are, once you go in the Z-axis, if you go through one of those windows, you should be able to get out.
That would be nice. You're like, you just specifically, like, aim for the
Top
window.
tower is
Yeah,
under
yeah, you
attack.
should be able to. It only makes sense. Dota is a game of logic at the end of the day, right? So
Radiant's
true.
middle tower is under attack.
Jesus. RTZ is almost level 25 as he finishes up his Daedalus and is now working towards his Satanic. It's the exact same build we saw last game.
good build.
40%
Radiant's
status
bottom
resistance
tower
now.
is under attack.
Oh, the Avalanche Blink. They've caught Copy. He's down to 38 feet. He's dead. Huge win to start this fight, but can they actually bring down this Tiny? Can they bring down MC? They can't. 2-0. Shopify in the driver's seat right now as Egg is still available. An incredible find there. Eight to 8. Balance in all things.
Slowly climbing up there. Again, there we see why Mars is good versus Gyro and range shearers in general, which is that even though Gyrocopter did pop the BKB and was hitting the Mars and Tiny in the arena, the supports, the ones who do die to the flak cannon, are protected.
This
Tiny's
Tiny's
taking a good chunk
not
of damage
really
there.
healing. Yeah, that's the DK form doing work, and now that the debuff expires, gets topped off by Skem, and they will back away.
Yeah, that was a little closer than maybe they thought. That is a, let's see, what is it? 35% healing reduction from the Worm's Wrath. So it's quite
Plus
a
is
lot.
60% amp.
Oh yeah. Once it's in the Elder Dragon form.
Yeah. It's like almost half healing reduction.
Dire are scanning.
Lelis might be in some trouble here.
Oh yeah, and they blink Dragon Tail from Kidrak. That is a great spell to have on your Rubik. And Lelis goes down pretty dang easily, 50 seconds, but does have a buyback at the ready. As Shopify are looking to pressure the high ground here once again. No fortification to save now.
Radiant's bottom tower
As the
is
tier
under attack.
3 is just food for this Tiny. There is a smoke wrap around here coming out from the
Radiant's
Tiny
bottom tower
and the
is
Dragon
falling.
Knight. Jump in, Kitrak's got the gyro, the chain stuns are there! Yuma goes down, 85 seconds and no buyback. They do manage to get this backline. They get rid of the Phoenix. They've lost the Mars as well. Fly, he's dead, but they've trapped the Tiny inside the base. He's got a BKB at the ready. He's gonna be forced to use it, but the Dragon Knight's falling low and fast. Yopaj to finish the job, he's got him. Huge wins from Shopify. No DK,
Radiant's
no
bottom barracks are under
Gyrocopter,
attack.
as Tiny waiting to get healed up from this Phoenix to go back onto the high ground.
That was close. Tiny was starting to take a lot of damage from the Huerta and the Bat Rider. if there'd been more kills in this game and Muerta actually had stacks on her shard, maybe they could have done it there.
Maybe.
It looks like
Poppy
Rider's gonna fall.
He's just dead. No buyback either. It's last game all over again. It was dead even, and then Tiny just hits a critical mass and just eliminates everybody. Fortification, of course, is available for Nouns here, but you got a while before these heroes come back, and Tiny will make quick work of your base.
Radiant structures are fortified.
10 more seconds till Gyro's up here, but you won't have your Bat Rider, your Clockwork.
I mean, Throne's exposed. Gyro's up. Muerta's back. Call down to try and create a little bit of damage pressure here, but they jump in. They get the blink, the Dragon Tail. Muerta trying to do what she can here, but Arteezy's got his eyes on the prize. He wants this throne. Dragon Knight's in with a BKB. The healing reduction's there. He's hiding inside of the throne. Yuma tried to do what he can as well. They're kiting out quite damn well, but there's the egg, the arena, and that spells a disaster for Nouns. Game 2, and the series will go to Shopify.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
You're right, that really was quite similar to game 1. A very even game. Nouns had decent lead, but just unable to close it out, which I do feel like comes back to the draft. I feel like this Phoenix Mars, at least in game 2, Phoenix Mars made it really difficult for Nouns to just play behind the gyrocopter, just run it down, let Gyro be the focus point, because they know if they trap Gyro in the arena or they just zone off the rest of their team with the arena, they're protecting themselves from all that damage. And so they just had a hard time actually putting their lead into use. Shopify drags the game out, and eventually when you have such a powerful hero like Tiny, when you have those team fight abilities that you have the advantage in the team fights, you eventually find the fight you want, right? And when it happens this late in the game, you just destroy the entire base right off of that.
This Tiny hero is looking pretty damn good, I'll be honest. And the way Shopify are playing around it is interesting. They are just kind of waiting for Arteezy to hit his farm. Like it's not more complicated than that. They're like, yeah, we're not in the best position here, but at some point Arteezy's gonna have BKB, Satanic, and a Daedalus, and just choose through anyone he finds. And he's so hard to kill. Like they had in both games, they had this Phoenix to sit behind him with this Sunray to try and heal him. And the idea this last game was with the Spirit Vessel, early pickup from Copy. This time they go for the Frost Dragon off the Dragon Knight. And it is a lot of healing reduction, but the fact that he's so durable is just too difficult for you to deal with.
Yeah, the damage just wasn't quite there at the end. And Muerta is a high scaling support, but a lot of the support scaling does tend to come from kills, because there's only so much farm on the map when you have a hero like Gyrocopter, who's a really fast farmer. So you do kind of need some kill gold to get you going in terms of scaling with items on the supports, and Muerta having the shard, also picking up the stacks. So the fact that was such a low kill game meant that the support did not really get to scale up on the side of Nouns, at least, like a hero like Muerta who does want gold. But on the other side, when you have a hero like Phoenix who's more spell based, items are nice, of course, always, but Phoenix kind of did what they needed without any, like, I have nothing, that's fine. Like, I pop egg in arena, sick, I've got Sunray, that's it, that's all I need, I'm content. Rubik's like, oh, I don't have much, but I just steal your spells, I use that, right? So I feel like because of that, the fact that there was so little actually ended up favoring Shopify Rebellion as the game went on and on.
Yeah, this was a rough one for Nouns. Like it just again felt so similar to game 1, but Shopify just have a very clear picture of how they want to play these games, and they're executing it pretty much exactly like what they need to do. And we have a bracket to show kind of how things have unraveled here for the first day so far. I believe there is another series later today, the Apex Genesis versus 4 Amigos will be happening over on the other stream, but that will be later this evening. But right now, Shopify, I think to most people's expectations, has earned the spot already in the grand finals, and they'll be playing up against either Nouns, Apex Genesis, or 4 Amigos for that qualifying spot at Riyadh Masters. And Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. Will it be a rematch of Nouns versus Shopify? Probably, but it's not set in stone. We'll have to see, right?
Yeah. My question is, are we going to see the exact same bans and openers for a third, fourth, fifth time next series? Maybe. I I think that's where Nouns could help themselves out a bit here, going into like if they want to plan for tomorrow. Like I said, kind of expected it's probably Nouns, right? I feel like Shopify was coming out a bit ahead in these drafts. Their game's just a little easier. So
Yeah.
hopefully over tonight, Nouns can think about it and maybe they'll come up with a new idea for tomorrow to bring to Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, I will say it's been a fun first day of the qualifiers, but it's gonna go quick. We have one more day left, everyone, so make sure to tune in. Again, we have one more series happening later tonight, that lower bracket elimination game between Four Amigos and Apex Genesis. But Zach and I will be back tomorrow covering the final two series. So hope you guys are enjoying the cast. We'll see y'all very soon.